Hello, fellow homebrewers. JP here, and I want to introduce to you the brand new Brew-Built X1 Conical Series available at More Beer. More Beer sells the highest standard in homebrewing equipment, and the Brew-Built Conicals are just that. They're made from mirror-polished 304 stainless steel, and they come with loads of features that you and I have been looking for. They have a full 2-inch bottom dump valve, which will eliminate your clogging issues, while the sturdy base includes 4 reinforced legs, just like those big Pro tanks do. More Beer also carries the Brew-Built line of options and add-ons like casters, pressure kits, and even external glycol chillers. So you can find out more about the new Brew-Built X1 Conical Unitanks by going over to morebeer.com for detailed videos on the entire line of Brew-Built Conicals. You can trust Brew-Built with your next fermentation, and you can trust More Beer to find the right conical for you. Brew-Built at morebeer.com.
I poured it in my mouth and it just wasn't going down.
My first beer was an IPA, the best IPA I've ever drank, mostly because I brewed it.
If you have a scale that is good for measuring cocaine, you're probably good for measuring hops on cocaine.
You're scaring me.
I think the information is awesome and the audio sucks.
Make some sugary water, throw some yeast in there.
And you're going to drink good beer.
Yeah, it's going to be good. It's fine.
God damn it, man. Oh, my God.
Now, live from the Brewing Network studios in Northern California, this is the radio program for home brewers, craft brewers, beer lovers, and beer geeks. It's your only source for live beer radio that brings expert brewers together with, well, expert drinkers. This is the radio program with a head on it. This is The Session.
This is The Session. And on this session, I am forced to drink an inferior pale ale than my very own Grenadier Pale Ale in my own goddamn bar.
Is that because we drank it all on your birthday?
We did a number on one of the kegs. That is absolutely true on my birthday. But no, we have others, and I would have thought they would, be on tap.
Sure.
On a Monday when I'm here doing a show.
You would think.
Not so.
Huh. And so they do have them. It's not like they ran out.
Oh, they didn't run. No, we have other kegs. So we tapped our first keg of Grenadier Pale Ale. It's available on the shelves now across the country, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Firestone Walker collaboration beer with the Brewing Network, where it is our version of a Pale 31.
Oh, yeah.
Came out awesome. Especially on tap, which you're never going to get to try unless you come to the Hop Grenade, although apparently not even then.
Right. We don't even get to drink it right now.
And so we have several kegs, and yeah, we made a dent. In fact, on my birthday last week, we outsold Pliny, which nothing ever in this bar outsells a keg of Pliny.
Yeah.
That keg has always gone within, I think... I want to say 48 hours of tapping at most.
Wow.
But often 24, and we were, although me and you and a few others were really doing our part last week.
But it was worth it.
It was well worth it.
And on the menu, you have the little keg level indicators.
Yeah.
And it was flashing just tapped.
Right.
And the keg level was yellow. Half full.
Yeah, we were doing
on a half barrel.
We were doing God's work there. Very drinkable at 4.9%.
Oh, yeah.
It's super balanced like Pale 31 was.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like just shy of Pale 31. It's awesome. It's not quite the amazing awesomeness that was Pale 31, but it's just shy of that.
It gives a nod to Pale 31.
Oh,
it's
for
got
sure.
some characteristics of Pale 31, but a little updating.
Yeah. So, enjoyed several pints of that last week, and I was hoping to do the same tonight, and it's just not the case.
Do you think Eric's worried that you just drink it all, and so he wants other people to have some?
I think that's a strong possibility. Yeah, that he wants to spread it out a little bit.
Huh.
So
you drank half of it?
Yeah, I probably did drink a good half a keg of it myself. But it was my day.
That's true.
You know,
You've earned it.
My beer, my day,
Your bar.
my bar. You know.
Yeah.
So I felt like having a few, and that's what happened. Felt like having a few today too, but that's not going to happen.
The day's not over.
I guess. You know. Hi, JP.
Hi, Fred.
Welcome to the. Oh, there you. Hi, welcome to the
Hi.
studio.
Hey, thanks. I appreciate you welcoming
Just
me.
talking about how great the Grenadier Pale Ale tasted on tap last week.
Oh, nice.
Even now, you had it in the bottle with us.
I had it in the bottle. That's correct.
Even better on tap.
Well, I found that hard to believe.
It was that good.
Yeah.
Well, if only we could show you.
If only. If only.
I thought we worked at I thought we shared space with a bar. Isn't that the case?
I don't know.
And shouldn't a bar have drinks that people actually want to buy?
I'm tired of arguing about it.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Am I not helping?
No.
Damn it. All right. Well, fuck it.
Yeah.
And there's more pastry stouts to be sold, and it's fine.
That's right.
Well, how do you feel about milkshakes?
I love them.
You'll like an IPA.
Hell yeah.
On tonight's program, we are speaking with Common Roots Brewing Company. They're out of South Glens Falls, New York, and they have a great story. I'm excited to talk to these guys.
Nice.
They've had an interesting year, to say the very least. So you stick with us. You're going to hear some interesting beer tales of what these
Beer
guys
tales.
have been through.
Keg and beer, not for Justin. Beer tales.
It's our new show. This show is brought to you by the good folks over at More Beer. Go to morebeer.com and check them out. And if you're looking for a new malt to set your pale ales and IPAs apart from the rest, look no further. Extra Pale is a modern two-row base malt designed for very light-colored beers. It's germinated like a pale malt to have a high degree of modification for easy brewhouse conversion, but then it's uniquely kilned like a Pilsner malt to have a very light color. The result is a malt that easily and quickly converts like a true pale ale malt, but is just light or lighter than most Pilsner malts even.
Hell yeah.
Don't forget also to check out More Beer's Comos line of commercial-grade draft boxes. They're awesome. Stainless steel coils chill your beer to perfection, while the rest of the 100% stainless components deliver that beer to the glass in style. Check it all out and more over at morebeer.com, and thank them for bringing you this program. Okay, what else have I got to get through here today? Some announcements, of course, who are brought to you today by our friends over at Drake's Brewing Company. Go to drinkdrakes.com. When you go there, you can find out about Hop Chef 2019. I was a judge at this a couple years ago.
Hop Chef.
Hop Chef. It's a cool event that they do. It's happening Saturday, October 19th at Drake's dealership in Oakland there.
Right.
And it's an invitational that brings together 16 local breweries, each tasked with crafting a beer from a randomly selected ingredient.
Oh, boy.
So, like ginger to juniper berries, pineapple to peppercorns, everything in between.
Yeah.
The brewers have to do this. And then I was lucky enough to sit on a panel of judges who got to judge how well they used the ingredient.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Incorporated it in their beer.
Yeah.
A lot of great breweries, like the 21st Amendment's going to be there. Oh, actually, here's some of the ingredients right now.
Uh-oh.
21A got sweet potatoes and yams.
Oh, that sounds like a gimme. Come on. Let's
yeah.
go. Come on.
Alvarado Street got figs.
That's not bad either.
Bear Republic got kiwi. Cellar Maker got grains of paradise and saffron.
The saffron would be tough because you use too much saffron and you get iodine.
Yeah.
So that Grains of Paradise, that's easy. But
Yeah.
the saffron, that's not easy.
That's
Could
the
be
only
tricky.
challenging one so far.
Yeah.
Cleophas Queely
Yeah.
got hibiscus and lime.
That's another hard one, too. You use too much hibiscus, it gets tart and tanniny.
Listen to what Drake's got. I feel like this wasn't a random pick. Drake's,
Malt.
Drake,
Water.
Almost. Drake's got honey.
Fuck.
Tell me that's not rigged.
Man, you know what? We need to be involved in that.
Yeah.
If you remember back to BYOB?
Oh, yeah.
We tried to get bull testicles, but we couldn't find them. We were working it.
Right.
Did you look on bulls?
Fuck. Damn it.
I should have been a producer.
Heretics involved. They got plums. Some people got tea. New Glory Brewing got oysters.
And I think thinking about it, I guess it's not to stump the people. It's just
Right.
to give them an ingredient to use in a beer that they may not use already, and then you judge how well it's used.
Not
So,
everyone's as
and
malicious as you.
I'm thinking it's a mean thing.
Yeah.
Like spit, give them spit in a jar, dude. Come on.
They've done it. People have done
But
it.
yeah.
No, I think they probably come up with the list of ingredients, then they randomly
Yeah.
select who gets them.
Yeah. But the ingredients are
I'm still kind of calling bullshit on honey.
well, the ingredients are like semi-traditional brewing ingredients anyway, so it's not like a concrete.
Mm-hmm. And Triple Rock got chicory root.
That'd be kind of tough, too.
Yeah.
Maybe a porter.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
look at us.
Go to drinkdrakes.com. Tickets will be on sale soon, but it's happening Saturday, October 19th from 2 to 5 p.m.
Sounds cool, man.
Yeah. All right. So, in our announcements, we've got a few other things. The Great American Beer Festival is just around the corner. That corner is next week, I believe. So the Brewing Network will be there. As always, I'll be running the Brewer Studio and Food Pavilion, so you can find me over there. Also, we stream the awards ceremony live, so that's Saturday, October 5th. Pay attention to thebrewingnetwork.com for the definitive time. It's usually around 10 a.m. now that they do it, but I haven't gotten the definitive time yet this year.
Damn.
But it's Saturday, October 5th, and we will bring it all home to you. You can watch that on our live stream page. Concord Oktoberfest, put on by the Brewing Network, happening October 11th and 12th. Tickets are on sale now. Go to ConcordOktoberfest.com. And $25 gets you a commemorative half-liter Stein and 2 full pours of that bad boy. So you're going to want to come out and see us. All craft beer at our Oktoberfest. None of those imports here. No, we get local craft breweries to send us their stuff. Just was talking to Jamil, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
he's got all kinds of German beer for me. He's got Heretic Oktoberfest.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
That we have that on tap here. Yeah. He has a Hefeweizen, which I didn't think anybody makes anymore.
Well, it's hazy.
He has a Dunkel. And then, of course, he's got Heretic Lager, which is really a Helles.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's just one of the breweries, and we'll have 20 different breweries on tap there. So, go to ConcordOktoberfest.com. It's happening October 11th. That's a Friday night. And again, on the 12th, which is a Saturday day, you can come hang out with us and have a good time. We've got a 20-piece German orchestra. We've got rides for the kids. We've got German dancers. We have a beer tent, like a real beer tent. It's a good time. Come out and hang out with us. And finally, you can find some of us, me, I think JP, at and I'm pretty sure what's that girl who works for us now name? Teresa? Thank you. I don't know about Shimke yet. I haven't heard about it. Anyway, we're going to be at the Sierra Nevada Hop Harvest Festival. That's happening Saturday, October 19th, and we're going to be running some panel discussions that are going to be a great time, and the whole event just looks fantastic. I just got a list of breweries from them and some info on the talks that we're doing, which is probably good for me. Oh gosh, so many great breweries. 21A, Bagby Beer Company is going to be there. He's on one of my panels. Bale Breaker Brewing Company, I visited them, Beardy and I visited them up in Oregon.
Oh yeah,
great brewery.
Yes.
Beechwood is going to be there. Bear Republic, Berryessa, Firestone, oh gosh, the list goes on and on. Kern River, Knee Deep is going to be there. Moxa is going to be there. Mother Earth is going to be there. Revision is going to be there. Good Lord, Russian River. It's Society. Our friends from Society are going to be there. What a great event. It's happening. Go to SierraNevada.com. You can get all the information and buy your tickets to come and hang out with us at the Hop Harvest Festival.
Okay, fine. I'll go.
Yeah, are you going to go?
Yes.
You have figured it out?
Yes.
That, by the way, I barely scratched that list of breweries. It's even better than that.
Good. Mm-hmm. I plan on hitting all of them.
Is that your exit that day?
Yes, my Brexit, my beard.
Because you're moving up to Washington, you're leaving us.
Yes.
And so we had talked about this a little, but I just didn't know. Mm-hmm. So you're going to drive up to Chico with us, and then that's it. You're gone forever.
It's really great that Sierra was willing to throw a going away party for me.
Hell of a party too.
Yeah. Just now.
Yeah.
So I'm continuing north.
Wow.
And going to Washington to open a distillery.
So we get one last party with Beardy JP, and then he's dead to us.
Good.
Just like
it's about time.
Like anyone else who leaves the show.
Yeah.
Dead.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm going to shave my beard at the end of it.
Ooh.
And then
I really want you to. I really do.
Man.
And then just leave it in Justin's radiator.
He wouldn't know.
So he overheats.
He wouldn't notice.
I wouldn't.
It overheats as it is?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I just had to spend a bunch of money to fix the fucking brakes on that thing again.
God damn.
Again?
You guys have bought money pits, man. Jesus.
Did they catch on fire again?
No. And in fact, I only know because I spent a lot of time in that old girl this summer. I realized I put over 7,000 miles on the bunker this summer.
Wow. Didn't you only get it with like 6,000 on it?
Pretty low. And I turned 100 at the beginning of the summer.
Wow.
And now I'm at like 106 something.
Nice.
And anyway, point being, I know every little sound she makes. I know every vibration. I know every squeak.
Yeah.
Like, I know it.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of my last trip, I heard this kind of grinding, this tiny little vibration coming from the back. And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the brakes. And bring it to my mechanic. He's like, well, let's go for a test drive. And we do. And, he tries everything. He can't hear it. And I'm like, you don't hear that? That's right. He's like, I don't hear anything. But and he's like, also, he's the same guy who did my brakes. He's like, there shouldn't be anything wrong with them. You should have another 2 years out of these, But he's like, hey, you want me to, I'll pull it apart. So listen, I know my girl. Take her apart.
She's sick.
Yeah.
She's ill. Takes her apart. One of the rear drums, the brake shoe had been completely demolished and ripped off.
Wow.
And so, when you have a brake shoe, you got the metal frame that holds the pad on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's the pad that it had something got in there and just tore it off. So I was just metal on metal.
Nice.
But in such a way that it was not loud. It wasn't like, it was a smooth piece of metal.
Yeah.
So he was like, I don't know how you heard it, but it's a good thing you did, because that thing was fucked.
That's all you got to do on the road is just sit and listen. And make sure I'm not on fire, nothing's happening. Like, I feel like in that thing, every 5 minutes, you have to just turn the radio off and listen for half a minute just to make sure that you're not going to die.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, and in fairness to the mechanic, he's not used to having to listen through all of the sounds
the
of
other
the
sounds.
body falling off of the RV slowly.
Right.
Yeah, he did. He calls me about that. He's like, so that like the rest of the thing's kind of falling apart, right? He's like, from a safety perspective, I had to make you a list. Yeah. I was like, all right, go ahead. He's like, so that the awning is like held on by one bolt and the cloth that's connected to the top. I'm like, oh, yeah, I knew that. That was about 4,000 miles ago. I got you. What else? What else you got?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, so you know how the muffler fell off? Yeah.
Straight
well,
pipe.
He's like, that's really not good from a carbon monoxide perspective, because it's now, like, the muffler's designed to come out past the body of the RV, but about 8 inches of it just fell off in fucking Wyoming or something. I don't know. And he's like, yeah, that's not good for your life. And I was like, oh, okay.
That doesn't matter anyway.
Don't worry, I quit smoking last month. It's fine.
I'm like, I sit up in the front. The thing's in the back. And then he's like, all of the weather stripping is dry rotted and popped out.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got anything I don't fucking know, man? She's fine. He goes, okay. Also, your hydraulics are leaking. Now, that was new. I didn't know that.
Oh, for the slide out?
For the slide out. But that he was like, don't worry about it. Just keep filling it up.
So I'm going to be driving up on my own to Chico.
Well, you can ride with me.
I'll ride with you.
My RV works.
Well, no, I got to get back.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to go to Washington?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm forced to come back.
Oh, that's too bad.
I know. I'm trying not to, but
yeah.
Well, she's all fixed up now, so I got to put a few pieces of tape on her, and then I bet the brakes work again.
Wait, so you taped the brakes?
I did. Now see, it's like I will pay for the drivetrain.
Oh,
like the drivetrain, the brakes, because that's the only thing like left of value on the vehicle. So I take care of those things.
Okay, sure.
Everything else, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll just build a new when it falls off.
Yeah, pretty much plywood and tape. All right, so. You can find us at Sierra Nevada Hop Harvest Fest in the bunker.
That's right.
We'll be there. All right. If you want to support us, do your Amazon shopping by clicking the Amazon link on our homepage. It's a great way to support us. Just do all the things you normally do. You can also subscribe and join the BN Army. For as little as $2 a month, you're entered into the More Beer monthly donation giveaway, which is a chance to win $100 to spend at More Beer. I thank all of you who've been doing that for all of these years. Believe me, we need it. We can't do it without you and your support, and any way you can support us, we appreciate you so very much. Sign up for our Twitter, our Facebook, and our Instagram for things, and to see things, and then send your show ideas over to feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. That's feedback@thebrewingnetwork.com. Not just show ideas, but, tell us how you feel. Tell us about your hopes and dreams.
Yeah, how are you?
Just keep it short. That's
What'd you
all
have
I
for
ask.
breakfast?
You can tell us anything. Just keep it short.
What do you want, dude?
All right. Do we have a Twitter game today?
Yeah, man.
Cool. Twitter game is brought to you today by the Wine and Hop Shop. Go to wineandhop.com, where most items ship within 24 hours. And BN listeners get $8 flat rate shipping on orders under 25 pounds. Just enter BN shipping in the notes field of the shopping cart, and your discount will be taken after you check out. Madison, Wisconsin residents, order your homebrew supplies online at wineandhop.com, and then pick them up at Working Draft Beer Company, located on Wilson Street, just across from Central Park. They'll waive the shipping, and you get half off your first beer.
Damn.
Go to wineandhop.com. What's our Twitter game?
Well, Justin, in this industry of beer that we are adjacent to, and maybe in, for that matter, who knows?
Yes.
There's been a lot of focus lately on, in the past couple of years, the importance of beer and almost treating beer not as an object, but almost like a human being. Right? You know how like corporations are get human rights and waterways get human rights in some places, whatever. It's like we've transformed beer into a person. Okay. And we interact with this person. This is probably the most interactive we will be with a person all week.
Okay.
Right? That's not our spouse or our coworker.
True.
So I thought
that's definitely true.
What style of beer would be the best kisser?
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And why?
Sure, yeah, that's fine too. Yeah, why, where, whatever you want. But
All right.
Thanks.
That's our Twitter game
Thank
today.
You.
All right, let's do a little feedback. Feedback brought to you today by the Beer Law Center. Go to beerlawcenter.com. Check it out. John can take care of your trademark or your brewery filings and all that stuff that he does over there. He does a great job on mine. I haven't lost my ass yet.
Oh, good. You're still not in court?
I mean, any day.
Supposedly it's headed there, but
any day. I don't know what's with these people, but still, John does a good job. Beer Law Center.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, one of these days you'll hear about it.
This is gonna put John to the test if it goes to court.
I told the whole story at the BN anniversary party. Another reason to show up at our events. You never know what's going to happen. Sometimes I spill my guts about all the things. And I told everybody there, I made them all put their phones away so that they weren't videoing me in case I ended up in court or whatever. John gave me the okay. My attorney was there to make sure I didn't say anything inappropriate.
Was he at the soundboard with the mute button?
You should have been on stage whispering in your ear.
That would have been great. All right, go to beerlawcenter.com. Okay, feedback's pretty short this week.
Yeah, man. I just checked, and there was another one, but it wasn't worth adding to the things.
Okay. Well, Tim writes in, and he's writing about our manscaping discussion we had last week on the show.
Oh.
So Tim says, so here's a funny story. I listen to the session everywhere, but it's always on when I'm in the shower. So there I am in the shower listening to the Tap episode, and sure enough comes your manscaping discussion.
Nice.
At the exact moment I was using my new Lawnmower 2.0.
Whoa.
He's got that shaver, the Lawnmower 2.0. He says it was a strange experience. There I am shaving my junk, listening to you guys talk about the product I'm using and your junk. Junkyard Wars, he says. That's his little clever anecdote.
Yeah.
Anyway, I already decided to write in before you suggested it. This thing is wonderful. At first, I was pulling the skin taut so it was smooth as possible.
Yeah.
Because I, too, know what it's like to nick your balls with a razor or a clipper.
Yeah.
The lawnmower did a great job, and after a few minutes, I kind of just let it hang there and went over an untaught, wrinkly skin, and it worked beautifully. No nicks at all.
Living on the edge.
Yeah, no pun intended. That's ballsy, dude. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. Even with all the safety guards intact, and I don't know if I could do that.
No thanks.
Yeah. Oh, Justin has a prize box.
Oh, here we go.
We're getting the big-ass prize closet right now.
I'm just glad he didn't figure out about the shower cam we installed in his shower, so that way we know what to talk about.
He said there's no nicks, it's totally waterproof, and I highly recommend it. I give it 2 out of 2 balls, he says. I like his. He says, I also recommend their Crop Reviver and another spray that comes with the package.
Crop Reviver?
Crop Reviver?
Yeah. So, anyway, he said, thanks for all you do. Thanks, Tim. So, let's see what happened here. So, Manscaping sent me a bunch of stuff.
Let's see what happened.
We're going to use it. We're going to demo it right now.
Which, by the way, some of it's been taken. Who took a bunch of the Manscaping stuff out? Andrew, come back here. There's a whole bunch missing.
You know what? When Warren and I, we were doing Dr. Homebrew, I saw there was a full box. There were shirts in there.
And you didn't take the stuff?
No. Hell no. No, I would never do that to you.
Eric is blaming it on Scott.
Oh, of course.
Why would you think any different? Well, it's just sitting here. If it was important, he would have taken it home.
Eric, did you see Scott come take the stuff?
I did not see him come take it.
No, he was on.
I did not see him come take it.
Okay.
But I'm assuming.
Understood.
Apparently he was in here with his friends hanging out and drinking.
And it's not like something we can ask for back. Like,
No.
like I'm going to ask for the lawnmower back.
The seal's been broken.
Well, Dennis Prager says...
Because it was like nice stuff, like a carrying case.
I did see
Justin,
one...
do you not remember giving it away on your birthday?
What? I did?
Yeah.
To who?
You gave me a set.
I did?
Yeah.
You drunk bitch.
I was real drunk on my birthday. But I didn't give it all away, did I?
Well, clearly, because you still have some.
There were like 4 in here.
Oh, you just gave me one.
Okay.
And you had the box out.
I think there were
and you
3.
might have given...
When we were poking through it, there were 3. One was already open.
That's
and so
this
Warren and I
one.
looked through it and we're like,
Yeah.
this looks actually really cool.
Okay, well.
And we used it.
Yeah.
Just want to openly apologize to Scott.
Well, I was going to give
Don't
you
do
one,
that.
JP, but now I'm going to have to request more. Anyway, go to manscaping.com and use coupon code BREWING, and you get I don't know what you get. You get a bunch of stuff.
What does that mean? You were going to give me one, but I have to request
Now
more?
you know.
Well, because now this one's mine,
Oh, okay. And there were 3.
and Beardy has one,
someone
and
took
one's
one.
missing.
There
is
is
what I'm
Somebody
saying.
took one. Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
There's
so I'm
still a
Why
saying
is he
one.
apologizing to Scott?
I don't know.
That's what I thought.
And then there's like other things too, like the plow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like the straight edge shaver.
This is the straight edge
Yeah.
shaver. Do you want the plow? I'm not going to straight edge anything. Do you want to try the plow? Look, it has a mirror.
You won't live straight edge.
Take the plow.
All right, I'll take it.
All right, and then the other thing I'm really excited about from Manscaping
That
are
thing works
these
really
things.
good. I got baby soft cheeks for about 2 hours until it grew back.
You have this.
Yes.
Okay.
2 hours. I like these.
Yeah.
The crop mop.
Crop mop. What is a crop mop?
They're refreshing ball
Thank you
wipes.
for the plow, by the way. I
You're
will use
welcome.
it
Yeah.
on my
They're-
anus later.
They're ball wipes.
They're ball. Why do you need to
You
wipe
know,
your
on
balls?
some days, like in the middle of a hot day, you're out and about. You keep them in your glove box. I don't know.
Okay.
You don't have time for a shower.
Well, and-
you can freshen up.
This is why this segment is good, because I would never. Sometimes companies think of stuff that you don't know that you need.
Right.
I would never have thought that, you know what I really need is to wipe my balls. But apparently, now that it's explained to me in such a manner,
Yeah.
okay.
Now
maybe
makes
I
sense.
do. Yeah.
I can attest to that because it was 90 degrees out and I was busy packing and boxing up shit.
Yeah.
And I had the kit, and so I was like, you know what I need to try right now? Let's see how much.
Crop mop.
I need to mop my crop. And
I
had
need
a
to
nice-
not know about this.
Why is it called a crop? You reap the harvest, I guess?
Your hair is
No,
you're growing your hair.
Because that's where your seed is, right?
Oh, yes. Your ball seed.
Yeah, crop mop. Mop the crop down.
Well, they've got other stuff too. There's a foot deodorizer spray. There is a crop cleanser, which is just like a hair and body wash. Crop reviver. This is what our listener was writing in about. This is a toner and refresher for your balls.
Toner?
Oh, that probably helps. I don't know about
skin?
ball skin, but it probably helps with like ingrown hairs.
Oh. Okay.
Really? I've never had that
I've
issue.
never had an ingrown hair on my testicular region.
Okay, maybe not. I don't know.
I don't know.
Right.
Is it like a bronzer?
I think it's if you cut the hair too short, then you spray it on and it grows back a little bit.
Oh,
that's
okay.
That's my thought on it. Yeah.
All right. Well, go to manscaped.com, and when you use coupon code BREWING, is that right? I think it is. You get 20% off and free shipping. That's pretty good.
That's a good deal.
20% off. I think you guys should try this stuff out, folks.
Those ball wipes were a nice afternoon treat.
Nice.
See? Yeah.
All right. Hey, man.
Treat yourself.
I have a feeling we'll need him in Chico. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
It's probably going to be hot up there.
I'll bring them.
Stuff them in the glove box.
If there's any left by then, I'll bring them. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you just wash them. And
You're just going to use them as showers.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. Who needs showers when you have all these high-quality products from Manscaped?
That's right.
All right. So go check all that out. That's it for our feedback today.
Oh.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. Thanks for writing in.
Yeah. Use the coupon code when you re-up.
Exactly. You still got to re-up, don't you? That stuff doesn't last forever.
No.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Before we do, make sure you go check out that new beer from the 21st Amendment, Spark Ale. It's their sparkling rosé ale, essentially a hybrid between a cider and a beer. It's brewed with apple cider juice and grain-based sugar, then back sweetened with peach, cranberry, and cherry juice. It's not really a cider, but it sure tastes like one. It's going to be the perfect beer for your fridge. It's also gluten-reduced, which is less than 10 parts per million of gluten for those who are looking for a good alternative to those big malty beers. Go find it on the shelf. It's good stuff. I have it in my fridge.
Yeah,
I do too.
Yeah. 21st Amendment. Great people over there, you know?
I do, actually.
They're just great people.
There's more than Sully over there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah. All right. We're going to take a real quick break. When we come back, Common Roots Brewing Company will be on the program with us, and I'm excited to talk to them. They've got a great story, and we're going to try their beer as well. Hang in there. You're listening to The Session. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Wayne Wumbles from Cigar City Brewing, and you're listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
All right. Welcome back to the program. Thanks for hanging out with us while I take a break and cough all the way through.
Yeah, you and Bev, man.
Can't shake it, man. I've had this thing for 2 weeks solid. Damn. It's better than last week. Teresa was scheduled to be here with us today, too. She's got it also. Wow. And it's going around. I don't know what it is.
Damn.
It's the weirdest cold I've ever had because there are like virtually zero other symptoms other than this like painful cough. But I think I'm on the mend.
I really hope I get it.
Yeah. Well, we did make out enough last week. That's true. It's possible.
What style of beer was I in your mind when we were kissing?
Not a pale ale. You're not that good. I'll tell you that right now.
Like a solid wheat beer?
Yeah, I'm definitely not that giving. I would be a hard seltzer.
By the way, we got to the bottom of the great Manscaped caper at the break. Apparently, I gave it all away on the night of my birthday when I was drunk. I gave one to Aaron. I gave one to Beardy, which basically leaves the one left for...
For sure.
Yeah.
I was telling Warren when we were here, I was like, dude, just text Justin. I know these are going to be for us. And we can just take them off his hands right now. And he
should have done.
He refused.
That was my intention. Before I went on a drunken giveaway spree, so that we all could talk about them.
Sure.
It was definitely my intention.
Hey, it worked for me, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, well, fine. Okay, as promised, though, we've got our next guests on the program, Common Roots Brewing Company out of South Glens Falls, New York, and we'll be speaking to Christian and Bert Weber. Hey, guys, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, it's good to be here, man. Good to be here.
I know it's late in New York, or later anyway, so I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you have had yourself a couple beers to make up for it.
We've had a couple beers. It's a nice rainy evening here in upstate New York. The leaves are changing.
Okay.
It's probably different than Northern California.
Yeah, it's probably a little... we're just sort of brown and dry right now. I do love the New York and New England fall. It's pretty beautiful. So
yeah, we're in the middle of it right now.
Yeah. Well, we had a nice summer kind of weekend here. It's like Indian summer, so it's really very, very much a treat.
Very nice. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Now, I'm just going to assume that you guys are father and son and not married. You both have the last name. Just checking.
We are father and son, yes.
Gotcha. So,
and married.
This is upstate New York.
It's New England.
Yeah.
Still recovering from the manscaping.
Right. So are we. I don't blame you. So, all right. Well, then tell me a little bit about yourselves. When did Common Roots Brewing start, and you know, what was the idea? Did you guys always, as a father and son, think we're going to go into business together?
Well, I don't know if we always thought we'd go into business together, but we did. You know, we homebrewed together.
Okay.
And then, I remember coming actually back from a bike ride down on the Eastern Shore of Maryland that we did. We always do as a family, actually, and go down there. And on the ride back, we had a much more serious discussion about the idea of opening a brewery, and it started to germinate from there.
Did you, and you're Bert, I'm going to assume.
Yeah, Bert, too. Yeah.
Bert, did you retire and then looking for what the next step was, or was it not even that far along in your career?
Well, I basically just retired from teaching a few years early, and I actually had another job after retirement. I was looking for something to do. I didn't really, honestly, the idea of opening a brewery was kind of foreign to me. Although, in retrospect, Christian and I, wherever we went, we seemed to visit breweries, and we obviously love beer and love making beer.
Right.
And there was just something about about being in a brewery. There's something very special about it. So
sure.
I guess I should have expected it, and I taught for 30 years. And honestly, the discussion that we had, I saw the passion in Christian about the idea. And I have to say, my wife, Robin, was just one of probably our biggest cheerleaders in this whole thing.
Okay.
When she said, "Why not? Let's go for it."
Wow. What did you teach, Bert?
I actually taught in a career and technical program. It was called horticultural and landscape design. So
okay.
My background was in agricultural, plant and soil science.
Okay. And Christian, what about you? Did you go to school for brewing or for business, or just also this passion for beer kind of drove you here?
No, I mean, I started off homebrewing with my dad and probably started off more in college, more for the consumptive quality than the artisanal, I suppose. Like,
that makes
I wasn't
sense.
old enough to buy beer, but you could still go to a homebrew shop and buy the ingredients. And then from there, really, there was a brewery called Squam Lakes Brewing in New Hampshire, where I did my undergrad, where there was a guy not much older than me at the time who was was doing a nano brewery, which was maybe before nano breweries were a thing.
Okay.
And I started volunteering with him a bit on bottling days and whatnot. And then eventually did an apprentice program at a brewery about an hour south of where I went to graduate school, and then brewed there for a bit. And loved it. I thought it was awesome, but didn't know if it was still what I wanted to do, and pursued a career outside of beer, ran a nonprofit for a bit in Lake Placid, and kind of came to a crossroads where I either had to stick with it or go do something else, and was looking at brewing positions at other breweries. And my dad had just retired, and a conversation kind of started that maybe we should try our own thing,
Okay. So far, it sounds like a dream, right? All kind of coming together.
Yeah.
But Bert, I'm trying to think about you and newly retired, and then this new endeavor, which is potentially very, very expensive. It sounds, forgive me for being a little nosy, but our listeners always kind of like to hear about this sort of thing. So you get to this point in your life where you're able to retire. I'm going to assume you have some retirement, you have some savings. Is this next endeavor the type of thing where you're like putting it all on the line again, like at this late stage in your career?
Well, that certainly is a consideration, but honestly, we just saw the potential here, and you get one shot at doing things, and so I have to say, as my wife and myself, we looked at this opportunity and we said, why not?
Yeah.
I think this could work, and we obviously did our work, so we put together a business plan, started looking for properties. Christian's commercial brewing background. I actually did construction in the summers, so I thought, our combination of talents, we could probably do something and keep it under budget. So
that's perfect.
Yeah.
Within a budget.
With it, yeah, probably not under. Let's be honest. But
nothing under budget, that's for sure.
Okay, I like your attitude, Bert. It sounds like a good way to do things. So wait, so what year did you open then?
So we closed. My father and I bought a building in South Glens Falls in February 6, 2014. We did all the construction for the most part ourselves with the help of family and just friends. And we opened December 19th, 2014. So we're coming up on our 5-year anniversary here.
Okay, excellent.
It was about a 10-month renovation. Yeah.
That you guys you were able to largely do that yourselves?
We did everything ourselves, which is great.
Wow.
My dad has, like I said, taught at a vocational school, so there was a lot of other trades, former teachers that have retired and lended a helping hand. That's a pretty convenient.
That's perfect.
We had electricians and plumbers and everyone to kind of help out. Plus, we do live in a community that's that really everyone just kind of lends a hand. And It was 10 months and probably 4 or 5 days off in that 10 months period, but. We opened, and it was still certainly a work in progress, but we had opened with enough done, I suppose, to kind of open the doors.
Excellent.
When you tell people you're building a brewery or opening a brewery, they seem to come out of the woodwork. And,
yeah.
It was pretty exciting, honestly.
That's really cool. Well, and as Christian said, you're sort of uniquely positioned in your vocation, that you have all these trades that you've worked on through the years. So that's pretty cool. I like it.
Well, it came in handy, certainly. Yeah.
Okay.
You might have come in under budget monetarily, but how many kegs of beer did you owe?
Right.
We're still working for beer.
So. Yeah. That debt's still being paid. Okay. So we've got a fairy tale story so far, but it does take a different turn. But before we do that, I've got a beer in my glass that I want to talk about, and that is. Party Shirt Fridays IPA, which is a great... Tell me about the origin of the name first.
So Party Shirt Fridays was like a weird thing at the brewery where we had a few of us would wear party shirts on Fridays. And we also had John Mayer Fridays too, which was maybe, I don't know if that's going to be able to be a beer or not, but
nice.
It became this thing. And next thing we know, it was an entire staff / all of our patrons started wearing party shirts on Fridays. And it was maybe pressured from the world, but we decided to have a beer called Party Shirt Friday. So it's largely based around an IPA, a fruited IPA. We've kind of rotate the fruit now through the years. So it started off with passion fruit, pineapple, raspberry. We've had some other ones as well.
Okay. This one has pineapple, I believe.
Awesome.
Yeah, the one that we've got here. And so it's also definitely tastes fruited, but not overly fruited. In fact, some of that pineapple, you could say, I don't know what hops you use, but I could have argued they come from some hop character, too.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is definitely a beer that we wanted it to be balanced in terms of the hop and beer profile, not to be too forward on one, basically too fruited in some ways. We certainly have some other sour IPAs and some sour mixed culture beers that are definitely heavy on fruit, but this is one of the ones where we love a good balance too. A lot of our beers we brew at Common Roots are meant to be approachable and balanced, and this is definitely a part of a series that's part of that.
Do you keep the hop bill and the lactose additions and everything consistent? You just change the fruit out, or what do you do?
No, so the hops definitely change with the fruit, and it's usually to complement or to pair better, I would say. We've also only done probably less than 10 iterations now. So far, we've adjusted every time, and whether that's for the the balancing aspect or because we keep finding better ways of making it.
Sure.
I really like the way the lactose kind of fights the acidity that I would guess the pineapple would give it, to where it kind of still feels just kind of like a normal New England IPA.
Air quote normal.
Normal, yeah.
That's fair. Especially in the West Coast.
Yeah.
But the first time we did it was actually with passion fruit, which, as you guys know, passion fruit's incredibly acidic. And some of that was we might have went overboard on passion fruit a little bit, and we wanted to use the amount of passion fruit we used, and we also wanted to make sure it was still balanced. So some of that lactose initially came in sort of, and I hate to say by accident, but it did. And we decided to kind of continue with it a bit, because we actually don't put a lot of lactose in our IPAs. Some of our IPAs certainly have it. I know it's like an East Coast thing, but I would say at least half of them don't have it.
To me, with the pineapple and the lactose combined, sort of tastes like the way pineapple upside down cake tastes, like cooked pineapple, but in a not in a bad way, where you get cooked fruit is sort of mealy and weird and whatever. Yeah. It's not tangy like Warren's saying. It's not acidic, but it's almost caramelized in a way. And I don't know what the combination there is, but it's a very unique pineapple flavor. Mm-hmm. It tastes like fruited pineapple, like you're eating pineapple that's maybe like just ripe, like perfectly ripe, maybe even overripe. Because you know what I mean, that darker pineapple flavor. Mm-hmm. That's what I get out of this, and it's very good.
Yeah. I really like, because it has a firm bitterness at the end.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And for me,
it does.
The pineapple goes right into that bitterness. So it's almost as if I'm tasting bitterness from the pineapple. I'm certain it's actually the hops, but to me, the way it goes from one to the other in like this perfect curve, it's almost as if like I'm getting a little bit of bitter bite from the pineapple.
Yeah.
I think it's just how well you guys use hops to complement the fruit, but it's just such a nice slide right into the firm bitterness.
Yeah, definitely. And the Mosaic pairs really well with the pineapple.
Yeah,
and for my palate, I'll appreciate that the Citra is restrained, but it does taste like you do have a good quality Citra as well. Because sometimes it can get kind of skunky to me and dank.
For me, I think I would like to see like a more restrained bitterness. I feel like the bitterness at the end cleans all the fruit out, and that's what I meant. Like,
I think that's what I really like about it.
Me as a non-fruit beer drinker, I'm very interested in and sort of attracted to this flavor. I want to kiss it. If this was a beer, I would kiss it.
Here we go.
Or something.
It's bitter hint right there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. And so it kind of, I see what you mean. It goes in a curve, but for me, it like spikes up at the bitterness, and that washes away the fruit. That's what I'm looking for.
I see.
But that's the kind of beer drinker I am. I'm not like a super bitter beer drinker.
You're just bitter.
Just a bitter
I'm just
person.
bitter, beer drinker,
right.
Very handsome.
Yes.
Yeah. It's a nice beer, guys.
It's a really good beer, yeah.
I'm enjoying it. Okay. So I wanted to do that so we can talk about that because the next part of our conversation, I think it's a little intense. So
speaking in Chinese. For me.
Yeah.
We needed a beer before.
I think earlier this year, was it 2019, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Earlier this year, you guys experienced a devastating fire at the brewery. The brewery essentially burnt down. Is that right?
Yeah, so it was March 25th, the day I guess we won't forget at this point now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a pretty catastrophic fire. It burned majority of the brewery down. No one was hurt, which is, I mean, we really just realized how fortunate we were because of how, fires are incredible. They're some of the most scariest and terrifying things on a planet. And we were completely open. Our tap room was packed. We had brewers in the facility. We were, things were happening. So it was definitely, we're really fortunate that no one was hurt. And it was catastrophic.
I want to keep diving into this, but I want to point out how I came across it. So I didn't actually know about this when we booked you guys, right? And we always send out a pre-interview. This is kind of for my listeners, letting you all know. We send out like a pre-interview so I can get a little background of the brewers. And, one of the questions is like, what's happening at the brewery? Anything you guys specifically want to talk about? And who filled out the pre-interview, Bert or Christian?
Actually, we kind of both did a little bit, so we
okay.
Passed it back and forth, so.
Because there was like a very short sentence. It was almost like, it's like one of those things like where, it's like one of those awkward family dinners where you where you tell grandma you're pregnant. You go, I'm pregnant, pass the turnips. Like you just gloss over it. Like I read this sentence and it's like, well, we would talk about the background and growth of Common Roots, the fire and the aftermath. Oh, and we have a community foundation and it like moves on. And I'm like, wait a second, what fire? What the fuck? And so I have to go searching, and you guys did a nice job of communicating with your fans and your community through your website. And I ended up learning this story, and I'm like, it's a good thing I really read these pre-interviews because I might not have known this happened. Okay, so let's go back to March 25th. So. What happens? You go about your normal brew day, and the two of you go home, but the tap room is still open, I guess, at this time.
Yeah, so it was kind of a normal day. I think my father had just left. I think the last thing we did in the brewery was you and I were fixing the top of one of our fooder tanks that we had just.
Oh yeah,
we were sanding it. We were figuring something out with it, and we kind of high five left. We were our sales and operations director Keith and I were actually in Uplands Brewing for the weekend, doing a festival with them, and had just gotten back from Indiana. So I went to my office to just catch up on the amount of emails that had come in since I'd been gone, and we had what largely was a vent pipe malfunction in our brewery, and it was kind of a freak accident. And I started it was literally my office that actually caught on fire. But I started smelling some things and went down, and the rest of the brewery didn't smell any issues. The brew system was on, going through a cleaning cycle. A brewer was down there. Tap room was bumping. Everything was kind of normal. And I kept smelling something in my office. Next thing I know, we saw smoke, and luckily I was there. We were able to get everyone out. And I'm sure my dad remembers that horrifying phone call I called him. But
what is this? What is this vent pipe? Like, do you have a kitchen in the brewery? It was just a standard.
No, the vent pipe from our boiler, from our brew system, basically. It was kind of a freak accident. It wasn't supposed to happen. Everything was to code and rated, which I guess makes things more scary when you think about it.
Yeah.
But it was an old building, and what's really something kind of fascinating that my dad has a good background in construction and whatnot, but it was an old building with new construction on it. So if you look at the fire damage, it was the old building that burnt around the new construction, basically, which is
interesting.
Kind of interesting to see the aftermath, how technology has improved with firewalls and all these different things that we add to code now and whatnot. But at the end of the day, the main part of the brewery was built in the early 1900s, and that just it was old wood, and add a little fire to that, and it was quick.
And, okay, so we've gotten to the point where there's smoke. Now, all of a sudden, you see fire. You get everybody out, and I guess I'm just going to assume things from there just happen very quickly? Like, the whole place just kind of goes up in flames?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. We got everyone out of the brewery. The staff did an awesome job. It was like a freaking fire drill, Everyone was outside. One of them called 911. We're actually located right next to the fire department, which was
interesting.
Really
wow.
helpful. We had done a collaboration with KCBC not that long ago, and it was in a mobile blending tank because it was a wild beer.
Okay.
And we had just blended literally that day. So I actually I rolled it outside because I was.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. In the scheme of things, I was like, all right, we put the fork truck outside. I just was trying to move things outside because I guess in your head, you kind of you never think the entire building is going to burn down.
Yeah.
But there was stuff up front where there was smoke and starting to be flames coming from. So I was, and in hindsight, it's 2020. I kind of wish we could have, grabbed more things, knowing where the fire would hit. But
but you wouldn't know.
Yeah. So the whole thing, it burned right down to the ground?
The entire. I guess the whole front of the building, for the most part, really did burn down. The main cellar, our bigger tanks, our canning line, things. Yeah, I mean, some of our bigger stuff didn't actually burn, which is nice. So there's a newer warehouse that was built onto the back that had our 60-barrel tanks, our canning line, some of our other stuff.
Grain mill.
Our grain system, silos, stuff like that. We had actually just broken ground on an expansion, so the foundation was dug on a new taproom restaurant expansion. We had purchased a property next door, and we were getting ready to kind of build out. So it was, I don't know if there's ever a good time to burn, but it was an interesting time.
I see.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get in your head during this time, too. Like, you're kind of scrambling. You're watching the stuff go on fire. I don't blame you. You're like, hey, I can move that mobile tank. What else can I move? Because you're not thinking things are over. You're thinking, what am I going to do tomorrow?
What do I
have beer. Like, how am I going to have beer tomorrow? How am I going to do something tomorrow, right? Like, all sort of going through your head at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, what really took the biggest hit, I mean, everything in the front half of the brewery was gone. So all of our smaller fermenters, 20s, the brew house, the tap room, everything. But the upstairs was actually all of our conference room, all of our offices, things like that, which has records and computers.
Should have grabbed some more computers.
Yeah, I should have grabbed some more computers. Beer cellar was up there. Old vintage, beer. We were in Belgium at Cantillon, and it was like cool stuff that was, things that are priceless, right? Those were the things that, you look back and you're like, damn it, I had another hand when I made that run. I could have grabbed one more thing, but you don't think of that. But once I got downstairs and, shit's kind of panicking, moving. All right, let's move stuff away from the fire is the thing. You're right. It kind of makes sense, but
now isn't the and I guess you're going to hate me for these dumb questions, but you tell me that the fire department's like next door. They're just not able to contain it immediately.
They were cooking chili. What do you want?
No, they did an awesome job. They were there very quickly, and in fact, one of them actually was the one who pulled me out. I was grabbing.
I see. Yeah.
We're right next to Glens Falls. It's a bigger city. I don't know how many different fire departments came.
I think we had five companies at
least for there.
Well, and I guess what I'm getting at is I'm not actually blaming that. I'm more getting at something in there started to happen rapidly, that it didn't matter that they're right there.
Building, yeah. So it's just the fact that it's an old building.
Got it.
The front half
was kindling.
Yeah, it was a cool looking building. I don't know if you got pictures of it, but it looked cool. It was a cool old building built in the 1900s, and we actually had a picture hanging in our tap room from it was taken 1933, and it looked old then. So at the end of the day, we did a really great job bringing it up to code and putting doing everything we did to make it a great facility.
Sure.
However, at the end of the day, if you peel back the stainless, and all the aluminum sides and everything we did to it, it still has 100-year-old wood. And, that's just a bad recipe for if you add fire to that and heat.
Understood.
And unfortunately, when you had a malfunction as catastrophic as we did with the vent pipe, it was as soon as it went up, it was tough to stop it. And they did a great job, and their safety is most important. But they were inside for a long time and had it under control, and some things outside of their control happened, and they had to pull everyone out, which kind of unfortunately made the building kind of. Pretty much that was it for it.
Well, they were inside a long time drinking your Cantillon, bro. Don't let it fool you.
You need to get out, sir. The fire is very intense.
You got to. No, it's in
the get out.
It's in the garbage can. What are you talking about, sir?
This is dangerous.
Yeah,
we know what we're doing.
Where's the clean glassware?
It is kind of weird to hear survivor's guilt about not saving beer.
More,
in a brewery, right?
Sure.
But in this kind of in this little subsect of people who enjoy weird shit. I understand that about Cantillon. You go to Cantillon, you party, you bring a bunch of stuff back, and then you can't get it anymore. You're like, if I just got
it's a real
that.
loss, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah.
All right.
So, can you, and again, I'm sorry to do this to you, but tell me about the next day. You come back, and you guys have been working on this, for almost 5 years. A lot of dreams have come true for you there. You bought the building, right? What is your mindset the next day? Do you immediately feel like you can go on, or do you feel, oh shit, like we don't know what to do?
Well, there was actually a little bit of both. I mean, that night, actually, as we saw the severity of the fire and how bad things were, I mean, I think our first was, we had like 20 employees, and so we're like, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
We have 20 people depending on us right now. What the hell are we going to do?
Yeah.
So, that was very heavy on our minds that night as we saw, we don't have a brewery. we saw that. So, and the next day, which came very quickly, because I think we probably got home about 3 a.m.
Sure.
And then we had a meeting here the next day with our all our full timers, and we told them, look, guys, I'm not sure how we're going to do this yet, but we're gonna stay together as a company.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out, and we have insurance, and hopefully things will be good. But honestly, even that night of the fire, I mean, our phones are blowing up with people saying. Already organizing, what can we do to help?
Sure.
How does that work? I've never even gotten the chance to even hear how, if you have insurance, how does that process even work when you're managing a business this way and a catastrophe happens?
Yeah, so I mean, it was certainly an oh fucking shit moment, because you don't have you don't even know where to begin, right? We do have all these people, and they rely on us for health insurance now, and we weren't freaking business owners prior to this 5 years ago, so like some of it's still figuring it out as we go, and as we're growing fast and expanding and doing everything we're doing is still sort of by the seat of our pants in a lot of ways, but
like a lot of us, yeah.
Sure. And the one thing that I'm happy we did do is we were fairly well insured, but our attorneys and insurance brokers were there on the scene that night.
Oh wow!
And we're like, all right, this is game on, right? Yeah. This is what we got to do. This is fucking crazy, but we're gonna figure it out. And the next morning was pretty rough. It was pretty emotional, and it was like tough. There was news cameras set up for like days outside, just like trying to get an interview and talk to you. But we were able to meet with everyone and to say, listen, we're gonna figure this out. Don't worry, we'll do the worrying. You don't worry. You got health insurance. You got a salary. You got whatever paycheck you get is still coming. We'll figure this out in the back end.
Yeah.
And we were very lucky because between insurance and what really started to happen was we watched this incredibly humbling really experience of just an enormous amount of community support that just started coming. And it was not only from our just kind of local, upstate New York capital region, but also just from the beer community too. And there was just people, I think my dad and I both had probably 600 text messages and voicemails on our phones from people all over the country.
Wow.
Saying, hey, what can we do? What do you need? What do you need, basically? And a lot of it really started from past employees and community members that just started coming together and creating these like beer festivals and did all this Rally for the Roots and all these different types of fundraisings that kind of popped up. And it was what kept everyone whole. We're well insured, but unfortunately how insurance works is really for key employees. And we have a lot of, bartenders and people that the insurance companies, in their eyes, aren't key employees. And to us, as a small company, we're like, no, they are. They're part of our family.
Right.
And we're committed to keeping them, even if we don't have a bar to sell beer at anymore. So it really was pinnacle to have this type of community support that we received just to help kind of keep everyone whole. And it is, and to kind of weather the storm as insurance proceeds came in and to make sure there weren't any lapse in their pay checks or their health insurance, as a lot of our coworkers have children and all sorts of people that are on our plan now. So that's a real thing.
Wow. Damn. Yeah, it's terrifying. I can't even imagine. And interesting to me you say that even like your attorneys and insurance people were on the scene that night, because I wouldn't even know how to do that. Like the next, you make a phone call to your insurance company and you're like, hey, so that whole fire clause that we have? Yeah, we're going to go ahead and activate that now. Like, how do you even tell them the thing just burnt down? You know what I mean?
Thank God they showed up, because I don't think we knew what to do at that point. We were just still sitting outside looking at the burning building. But
I guess that's something to be said for like being in part of a small town or small community, because like my insurance is online. Mm-hmm. Whenever we have a problem with our bill or whatever,
they're like,
chat with
can
AI.
You turn on the webcam so we can see it happening.
Yeah. So like Sandeep is like not going to come over.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so that is cool. Like, because it is probably the hardest time in your life, at least up to this point. You probably have a lot of years to look forward to. But what do you even do? Exactly. What do you even do? I don't even know if I would talk about insurance until like 2 days later.
Right. I would have been drunk for 2 days.
Oh, 100%. Sir, are you drunk? Yes.
Yes, of course I am.
Yeah, my brewery's on fire.
Sir, I have this right, but your poo-poo is on fire. Yes! My shit's on fire!
Yeah, that's my phone call.
The morning after the fire, we're sitting on a stack of pallets outside the charred remains of our brewery, and and Matt, our attorney, is right there with us. So he was there all night with us, and then he was there in the morning. He had his laptop. He basically set up a little office right there, and it was unbelievable. And then, as Christian said, we actually had dug the foundation for the addition to our tap room.
Okay.
A truck pulls up, and it was the mason who was going to actually do the footing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude.
He walks up to us and says, hey, good news, guys. I was able to cancel the concrete.
Oh, God, yeah. Wow.
Then he just starts laughing, and he basically gave us a hug. He said, I'm really sorry, guys.
Yeah, of course. But
this happened, but with little gallows humor there. It was
sure.
Well, we were like, we forgot about that. We was like, cancel concrete.
The amazing irony of that situation as you're sitting out there watching the smoke, and this, don't worry, guys, concrete canceled.
Yeah. Or they come, sorry, the concrete's ordered. We got to pour it. We got rules. Look, I have a job. You have a job. I'm real sorry. But can we move these fire trucks? We got to pour. It's going to set. That's an extra charge.
We're pouring. Fuck you.
Yeah. Oh, man. Wow. Okay. I got to get us to a break. And partly I want to get us to a break because, gosh, this story is just kind of incredible. And we can already hear about the people rallying behind you. And what I want to hear about next is how you got to where you are today, because clearly you're making beer. I just drank your wonderful party shirt. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, more with Common Roots Brewing Company. We're going to find out how they rose from the ashes, literally. Hang in there. It's The Session. We'll be right back.
Tuned into this session because life's too short to listen to crappy radio.
All right, welcome back to the program. We are still hanging out with Common Roots Brewing Company. You can go to commonrootsbrewing.com and you can read more about their story that we're talking about today. You can also learn all about their beer. And if you were to Google Common Roots Brewing like I did, you'll get photos of the brewery before, you'll get photos of the brewery during, you'll get photos of the brewery after all of these events. You guys are all over Google. You got picked up by a lot of news crews after that event.
We did, yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah, whatever that is. I guess we're.
Yeah. Okay, so you decide very quickly that you're going to move forward. You're going to figure things out. So what does that end up looking like? Have you rebuilt on the same site that your brewery was at, or did you have to move away? What happened?
So we decided pretty quickly that we were very lucky. New York State is a state that's incredibly progressive and for beer. It's easy, I would say, comparatively to run a business, a brewery, and also we have access to the state, liquor authority and whatnot. So they were all aware of what had happened. And really helped us transition our license to a temporary facility pretty quickly, as well as DTB as well. So we actually moved about 500 feet up the road to a warehouse that was vacant, and a business affiliate of ours who made it accessible to us. And about 6 weeks after the fire, we opened a temporary system.
Wow. Wait, okay, sorry. What moved
6 weeks and it was done.
Like what moved 500 feet down the road? Did your brew house was still intact?
No, so we have no, it wasn't intact. And we lost that main brew house, but we actually had a pilot system, which was a 3-barrel kind of fully automated brew system that we had just gotten from a local company called Fraunhofer Design.
Okay.
And they've been actually working with us pretty much since our inception. We kind of grew together, but all of our brewing, everything from our canning line to our brew house to our fermenters is actually all made by them. So my father and I, we have a pretty large commitment to staying local and doing as much as we can within our community. And they had a brew system that was, I would say, marginally damaged. Maybe it was actually right where the fire happened, but one of the big giant garage doors we had in the front of the facility actually fell on it during the fire.
Wow.
Which was crazy, but what it ended up doing, although dented the top piping, stainless pipes on it, it actually protected it through the fire.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
Fraunhofer literally picked it up a couple days later, did everything they could to kind of bring it back to shape, replace anything that needed replaced, and got it back to us by the time we were ready to open this temporary facility. So
wow, this is just crazy. I have to say, I am not a religious man, and I'm probably not very mystical. I kind of just think like what happens, and it's all usually fucked, right?
Yeah.
But when a garage door falls and like shelters your only brew system in an event like this, you can't help but wonder, like, okay, what just happened? Which hand of somebody put that there?
That's right. It's Common Roots starring The Rock. That's like very Hollywood cinematic, or you know what I mean? The thing falls, protects you, and then you live there for 100 years until it rebuilds.
It saved the brewery, and probably like a litter of kittens was like living there. It's an amazing occurrence, I'm saying, right? You guys had to like take a step back and go, okay, well, that was weird.
No, yeah, we definitely did.
Yeah.
That's a real thing.
Okay.
That's a real thing right there.
Okay, so it goes back to the manufacturer who's local. They they get it back in shape, and this moves 500 feet down the road so that you can at least start producing beer again.
Yeah, so we had a whole slew of staff, and the tap room, although it did receive quite a bit of the brunt of the fire.
Largely smoke and water.
Mostly smoke and water, exactly. So we're actually we actually cut the bar out and walked it down the street to the facility. Yeah. And my dad and the boys kind of rebuilt it down there. And we kind of pieced this temporary setup together. And a lot of it was new stuff and borrowed stuff from other people, other breweries that chipped in.
Other
businesses, and we've kind of piecemealed this temporary location together, and we're still there. Since then, we've now obviously demoed the old facility, the property next door that we had acquired a year or two ago, which was the planned expansion. So we're, for the most part, we're brewing everything you drink at our tap room. And we've been fortunate enough to partner with 3 other breweries, Two Roads, Torch and Crown, and Single Cut have been brewing largely most of our beer, and we also have another local brewery that's helped us out as well called Frog Alley.
Okay.
So all of our production beer that's happening that goes out in the world is being done by them, and if you come to our facility, it's our 3-barrel systems producing that.
Wow, that's so nice. Now, I'm thinking at least for a month, maybe more, this makeshift tap room is the busiest bar in town, right?
It's cool space, though. I mean, it was just very unusual. When we walked into it, the owner was actually storing some antique cars in there, and it looked kind of like a museum showroom. But as soon as Chris and I saw it, we saw the potential here, and had a brick wall and some other things. We thought, well, this could work. And it's really kind of cool space. So our customers have really. They're floored. They thought temporary space was going to be some pallets stacked in a corner or something, but
that's what I was picturing. But I mean not just I'm just saying that the community must have really come out, and like if I'm living in your community, anytime I'm thirsty to go out for a beer, I'm pretty much thinking I better go to Common Roots now for the next couple months. Yeah,
I mean it happened, man. It was crazy. It was also maybe the unfortunate side was it was in a neighborhood where it didn't have the high level of traffic that we brought to it. So that was a warm welcome that we received, and they were actually very good. We definitely had some hiccups in the beginning of some crowd control and parking and things like that.
Sure.
We did our first can release again and things that kind of were normal, and we kind of figured out how to deal with crowds at our old facility, dealing with this more of a neighborhood area. It was a little different, but it was, again, everyone was really supportive, and it was pretty amazing.
We actually walked around and talked to the neighbors too, and they've been very supportive. They're happy we're staying in the village, and that's it's been good. It's been really good.
So even as you're full speed ahead on this expansion that you were already working on anyway, you're going to maintain this tap room that you built there.
Yeah, so I think the idea is hopefully this is maybe more of an incubator spot for maybe another brewery or a bar or someone else that wants to come in that space once we leave it. We're probably we are. We're going to vacate it in the spring to head back to our original site, which is under construction right now.
Okay, got it.
Well, again, hoping someone else wants it. And we've had conversations with some other local breweries and some other business owners and stuff that are kind of eyeing it right now as well.
How long did it take you to get the official report, from the fire inspector or whoever comes in and says, here's exactly what happened in your brewery?
That was that night, right? Would you say?
Oh, they knew right away.
Geez.
Pretty much. I mean, there was an investigation that happened, but it kind of confirmed what they saw happen that night. So.
I see. Okay.
It was pretty cut and dry. I mean, it was a freak accident with a event that should not have ever had that happen. But the source of the fire, what went wrong, was pretty cut and dry.
What, are they trained over there? Gee.
Well, listen, if this had happened at any of my places, there would have been a very thorough investigation. Them assuming it was me, basically. Especially if it was like a freak accident. They're like, oh, yeah, Justin and his freak accidents.
Well, I'm checking the paperwork here now, and it looks like it says Justin's bad luck as the cause. I don't know what that means. Yeah. Do you know what that means?
Right. Either that or Justin smoking in a bed of toilet paper in the restroom, like whatever idiot thing he did.
Yeah. No matter what he thinks about himself, act of God is not covered.
That's right. That's right. Okay. And so how far along then is the new expansion, or I guess the new primary facility?
Well, the footings are poured, and the major portion of the brewery is a metal pre-manufactured metal building, and so that's arrived on site. And we're actually expecting that metal to be in the air this week here. So we're going to start erecting the new brewery this week.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're looking. We're really hoping this is still fingers crossed everything goes according to plan. Which who knows? But we're hoping to be maybe brewing in January, February. With the expansion when we burned was to put a full restaurant into our tap room. So we've taken that now. So we are adding a full restaurant. So we're hoping maybe to be publicly open in maybe March, April. So maybe a full year from the fire, we'll be completely open again.
Did in some way, and obviously it's better have the fire never happen, but I'm assuming that insurance also gives you money for like the building you lost, and this now goes toward the building you're building? In other words, I'm not saying it helped you, but there was some funds from insurance that were like able to facilitate, we're going to kick this expansion in high gear?
Yeah, I mean, I think my dad and I, there's a silver lining. I mean, it's not how we certainly wanted to do stuff. So a couple of days after the fire, I had a phone conversation with Fred Matt, who's like whatever generation owner now of FX Matt.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of an OG in the world. And
sure.
They had a terrible fire back in 2008 and had $14 million in damage. And him and I spoke 3 days after the fire or something like that. And he said, listen, Christian, I know you and your dad built this and there's a lot of history. And, we had a fire that was enormous and there was an enormous amount of history that was lost. But, it allowed for us to restructure some things and do some stuff and end up being one of the better things for our company. And at the time, it's hard to hear that because my father and I kind of envisioned, walking around showing grandchildren, this is what we built.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, character of this old facility. And it's just gone, in a flash of an eye. But we look back and we say, all right, well, there were inefficiencies, and if we could have had a bigger cold storage, and although we were going to expand to probably the size, square footage size that we're currently going to be at, it would have looked a little different, right? It would have been the old Vermont farmhouse where you just keep adding wings on it. And now it's this nice purpose-built facility. So, yeah, there's clearly a silver lining. It's not how I think my father and I wanted to do it by any means.
Sure, yeah.
There's stuff that's gone that we never expected to ever be gone. But, yeah, we're starting to maybe finally get excited now and seeing the potential. And there's hindsight's 2020. There's always, you can do stuff differently after a while of dicking around the space for a bit, you start to see like, damn, I wish these floors were pitched better, you know? Like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, floor is a little bigger. I wish we had a little more height over here. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, how much nicer of a brew house are you getting?
Right, exactly. Beardy was just asking, like, you're getting a nicer brew house, basically, like, kind of like what you're saying. You know, you couldn't. It wasn't the plan you were making. I think you have to make that shift in your mind too, right? You guys had an emotional attachment to the space and to the work that you put in. I mean, you've even said that you thought maybe you'd show your grandkids, and you can't take that away. But at some point, to be successful, you do just have to shift your mindset and go, well, fuck it. This is going to be nicer. We're going to do this, and here we go. Yeah. Right?
That's exactly it. I mean, you know, it's all right. That happened. That sucked, and it was a real kick in the nuts. But you know, nobody got hurt, and let's see what we can do now. We want to keep this company together. Now maybe we can do the things because again, we were kind of fitting a brewery into an old building. Now we can actually build a building for our brewery.
Right. Yeah.
So it's a much different perspective, honestly. And you know, once we've accepted the facts, and you know, we in some ways we felt very lucky, honestly, that you know,
right,
the fire did spread pretty quickly, and you know, everybody got out. All the first responders went home safe that night. So
yeah,
you know, it was shit happens, as they say, but
right. And those are new emotional attachments that you have now, not just the realizing that it could have been much worse, and everyone's life was spared, realizing that you were able to keep people employed, all of the new and you know, even old connections you made in the community. Like, these are all now part of your new story too. So it's not as if your whole story got ripped away from you. It's actually just a part of it now, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean. We always knew we had friends in the brewing industry, but, you know, we've said this a couple of times that, you know, nobody should have to go through a fire, but everybody should experience what we experienced after the fire.
I see, yeah. That's a great way to put it.
The community coming behind us and all our friends in the brewing industry. I mean, Big Al's Brewing was actually up there. They were going to do a collaboration with us that day, and we're there that night watching our brewery burn with us.
Wow. I hope they brought beer.
That's a special experience to have with a fellow brewing company. So
absolutely.
I thought you were referring to the check. Everyone should experience this.
Yeah.
Big comical size check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out there, no.
Well, let's take a detour here and talk about your barrel-aged In Bloom, which is a foeder-fermented farmhouse ale that you, if JP can't smell the farmhouse ale, it's his problem.
Who knows?
Bevo's trying to point which beer is we're doing first. If he can't tell, that's not on you. So we got a foeder-fermented farmhouse ale that I think you then also barrel-aged in wine barrels after that, right?
We did. So we just poured one. We just poured one, actually. We want to join you guys here. So cheers.
Oh, cheers to you. It's a wonderful beer. I've already had a couple sips while you guys were talking.
It tastes a little smoky.
Too soon, beer.
Sorry.
Too soon. Yeah.
It does not.
Tell us about this.
Yeah, so we've been running a cool ship program since our inception, and it's a culture that we now kind of manage within the brewery. But the main foeder that the base beer comes from, we sort of run. We do run batches through our cool ship to kind of keep it inoculated, but we're also run kind of a slower method too, where we're just kind of pulling some and adding some fresh wort back into it. This is
and that's all done in the foeder. Sorry.
And that's done within the foeder,
yeah.
And then the base beer, which comes out a little more regularly, is called In Bloom. And it is slightly a Nirvana reference, but also a great floral name as well.
I like it. Nice. I'm a Nirvana fan. I like it.
But and then then sometimes this beer goes into puncheons where we add some fruit, and sometimes it goes to wine barrels and further ages and kind of whatever we're doing with it. So it's kind of a beer that has a longer, kind of bigger family tree with it that sometimes has different iterations that come. We like this batch. It's one that we've enjoyed, and we generally will fill periodically throughout the year quite a few wine barrels from different foeder batches and whatnot.
Got it. The base must be fantastic because this has a lot of complexity. So I'm assuming your Solera base there just comes out just how you want it, and then you get to manipulate a little bit by either. There's no fruit added to this one, right? Just wine barrels, the one we're drinking.
Yep, just wine.
And you get to kind of mess with that. That's a fun project. This is really nice. Pick up just a little bit of the wine barrels, like white wine.
Yeah.
You know. It's how old is this beer? It's aged really nicely if it's old.
So this was bottled, I believe, in the beginning of 2018.
Okay, it's holding up very well. You guys were able to keep it clean in those barrels.
No, it's definitely one of our favorites for sure.
What and the fruit?
There's no fruit in this one.
I know, but the fruit
that comes out of it,
it tastes like fresh.
Yeah,
fruit additions.
I'm getting some fresh apricot.
Pineapple, like kind of a tartar, like fresh. There's a lot that's coming through that.
It might just be their
being
slurry.
A year in the bottle. Even.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, we've been I will say that our terroir of our brewery. You know, the first time we do a cool ship in Southlands Falls, you're kind of like, what the fuck are you going to pick up in this? You know, although after being at spots like Cantillon, that's in kind of a more of an urban area. You know?
It's a ghetto over there.
It is kind of ghetto, actually.
Yeah, I was surprised when I first went there. I was like, wait, this is where all that good stuff comes from?
I can't believe it. First time I was there, I was like, we arrived, I was with a friend. I believe it or not, Belgium has Uber, so we Ubered over and they dropped us off. I was like, no, I think we're at the wrong spot.
Right.
And then I saw the sign outside. I was like, oh no shit. Okay, this is it.
Yeah. But it proved to you, okay, it doesn't. Maybe your environment doesn't matter. We could still get some stuff through the air. And I guess I missed that. This beer started in a cool ship.
It does. So the base beer, so all of our wild beer for the most part runs through our cool ship, or
nice,
or it has some sort of Solera method, which is from yeast from our native kind of environment, I suppose.
Okay, and you're not surrounded by orchards.
We're not surrounded. We are in the beautiful Hudson River, so
that's
you're
upstate
Hudson River right now.
Upstate the Hudson is nice. If you say you're near the Hudson, like closer to New York City, people are like, great, count the bodies.
Well, it's that why. It's because everyone from upstate. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so but you're not. You're saying you're not quite rural, but you're not in the heart of a big city either.
No, we're kind of in between two larger populated areas, Glens Falls and Saratoga.
Upstate New York standards. Yeah.
So certainly upstate New York standards too, yeah.
Understood. Okay.
Wow. You got some great bacteria and yeast floating around in the air up there.
Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
I also like that you're using an actual cool ship.
Yeah.
We have not had many breweries on here who have an actual cool ship. I can probably count them on one hand.
Yeah.
Cantillon we've had on.
Shady Oak.
Of course, Russian River.
They do now, yeah.
Shady Oak.
Who's the one out there by... Oh, why am I doing this? Why am I drawing a blank on a very famous East Coast brewery?
Oh, Allagash?
Allagash, thank you.
Yeah.
Allagash has a cool ship. We've had them on. I can't think of anyone else who's had one.
Shady Oak.
Nope, not them.
You weren't here for that.
Oh, I was like, I don't even know who that is. Sounds like a bad TV show.
They're up in Napa,
Steve
right?
Doty's brewery in Santa Rosa.
Santa Rosa.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
is that we're at 4?
And I think Yazoo, maybe? I don't know. But yeah, there's not a whole lot, that's for sure.
That's cool. I like it.
It's cool.
We'll have to send you guys out some Rooted, which is our like very traditional cool ship kind of spontaneous beer that we have.
Hell yeah.
We will not say no to that.
Seasonally is every different, but I would say that large agriculture has a real, like you guys kind of said, like fruity culture, but we always describe the brewery like it's almost very cidery in some ways, which is interesting to us. Like and it's almost regardless of like what we're doing with it, we kind of have this like this apple, like rich kind of apple cider kind of culture that comes with it. And it's, we do have a lot, our water profile is kind of higher salinity. It's good for bacteria growth, but, it's definitely an interesting profile.
Sure.
And you said this was bottled in 2018, but how old is it before it went into the bottle?
So it was, I'll have to look on this batch, because we do multiple batches of the barrel-aged in blend version. But I would say it's probably, so this I think came out, we have a fall fermentation festival that we invite a lot of our friends who do a lot of spontaneous and wild mixed firm beer. And it's kind of an intimate fest. We didn't do it in this year because that's not a thing right now. But I believe this particular batch was bottled for a release right before that. So usually our beer sits a minimum of a couple months after it's bottled, just to make sure everything's stable and whatnot. So it probably went to a barrel in 2017, early 2017.
Damn.
Were the foeders and barrels separate from where the fire took place, or were they also lost?
Barrels were. Barrels were. Fooder wasn't. We lost some stuff for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The label on this bottle is kick-ass. You can see it on the website, folks, if you want to go check it out, commonrootsbrewing.com. Who did your label design? This one's really nice.
So we have this wonderful woman who came to us a while ago. She's an adjunct professor at a local college, and she just works on staff now as our graphic designer. And her name's Jess Mead, and she's been a pinnacle part of our branding and has grown with us quite a bit. So she's the inspiration behind it.
It's cool. It's called Barrel Aged in Bloom is the beer, and then it's got a barrel that's sort of half underground, half out of ground. There's a blooming flower up top, and then just like gnarly roots at the bottom of from the barrel going underground. It's just, I don't know. It's really cool. I like it. You should get this tattooed to your body, Christian. It's cool.
We're going to do it. We're going to do it. So for a hot minute, we were thinking that all the barrel-aged versions, we could have darker labels. So the regular in bloom's the invert of that, basically. And of course, we've kind of fallen off that a little bit now. We have some other
work
that just didn't follow that pattern, but it was at least a start.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. And a great beer. Gosh, that's a good beer.
That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Thank you.
Well, now we have to abruptly transition from this to your double IPA, though, so we can get it. And now,
Who planned this flight order?
So you can blame me, but it went along with our story better because I didn't want to talk about I actually wanted to taste this beer in the first segment, but I didn't want to talk about their rebirth in the first segment. I wanted to talk about that after we sort of got through that, and then this beer is sort of a product of later. Like now they have this new facility where they've got their barrel aging all happening there. Okay. So I strayed from the normal go by beer style and went with the story.
All right.
So shut up, Beardy.
I don't know if I believe that or accept that, but this is where we are in life. So
can't change it now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome to Christian and Bert's life. This is where we are now.
Like Christian, I'm having survivor's guilt now. If I would have just said something different, it would have altered the...
Right.
My attorney's on his way.
I'm right here.
Oh.
So tell us about this beer. It's called Affinity Bound. Also has a cool label, which I found on their website. It's your double IPA, comes in at 8%. Tell me about the beer.
So I guess this is we do a fair amount of IPAs as well, and double IPAs. The can release packaged beer situation has definitely helped us buy more barrels as a better profitable side of the business.
Nice.
As much as we love making wild beer, it just isn't the same in terms of making business decisions. But Affinity Bound's one of the ones that we brew fairly often, and it's probably to be mentioned that was one of the first beers we brewed at another facility. So that particular beer you're drinking was actually brewed by us, but down at Torch and Crown, which is located in the Bronx.
There's a little bit of irony to the name there. I hope you know.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Too soon, Justin.
Yeah.
It's all right. We've heard them all now, so it's all good.
Down in the Bronx, though, that's not exactly close for you guys.
It's about 3-4 hours.
Okay.
3.5 hours, depending on traffic, I guess.
That's what I thought. But they were friends of yours and said, hey, come, we'll brew some beer for you?
Yeah, so them and Single Cut and Two Roads have really gone out of their way to just be incredibly helpful. We've never done any contract brewing, so it wasn't anything that was within our experience or something that we had, had thought to do.
Sure.
So we're not obviously quite at the same capacity. We're probably 3/4 capacity, before the burn.
Okay.
But we're doing a couple hundred barrels at each kind of facility right now, depending on the month. And they've been a great partner, and they've been really good at kind of working with our brewing team to kind of make sure that everything's kind of where we want it, and it tastes like a common roots beer still. And
nice.
It's been fun.
Well, this beer, is in line with your other beers I've had tonight in terms of quality. It makes me want to try more of their beer because they clearly know what they're doing. This is a nice double IPA. And, just listeners, we should point out it's like double New England IPA, right? It's milky, creamy, hazy. Pretty low on the bitterness in terms of a double IPA, I would say, which is good for me. I would never order a double IPA.
Low on the bitterness? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Wow.
For a double IPA, you think it's high?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I really do.
For a New England IPA. That's what you're saying, right, JP?
For a New England IPA or for a double
IPA?
IPA?
Oh, even just in general?
Yeah, because I think and I still don't. I'm trying to care enough about New England style IPAs to learn the nomenclature, but I'm stupid. The juicy, hazy part sort of smooth everything out, and then the bitterness comes right through. And there's no like malt really to sort of balance the. I don't mean no malt to balance the bitterness like I would expect in a double IPA. But I don't know enough about the style to know what it should be like or what it tastes like. So for me, it's a little. I'm just not a style I'm used to drinking on either side, either the hazy part or the double IPA part. So
Sure.
I'm like,
I guess
very,
I'm
very
just,
bitter
because I don't know what the hazy would do either. I don't know,
Yeah.
so I'm just comparing straight to a double IPA, and I'm finding it low on the bitterness.
I can't
due to that.
remember. Yeah, I mean, maybe I shouldn't even say anything because I can't remember the last double IPA I had. I mean, I know we've tasted them on the show, but it could also be coming off the sour beer. Just that one hit was like, whoa,
Sure.
Yeah.
this is a thing here.
I think it's solid
We're not
middle
used to-
ground
Yeah.
for a New England double IPA.
Yeah.
Okay.
But still pretty smooth. Like it doesn't have a ton of like kind of what I get is like vegetal bitterness in a lot of these beers. And so this is definitely a smoother example of that, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you guys?
This is definitely one of the double IPAs that is probably farther on the New England scale, I would say, than other double IPAs. We have our first IPA we came out, and it's maybe ironic talking to you guys about this, but what was more of a West Coast traditional American IPA, and it's one that we brew locally now, and it only stays locally, called Last Light IPA, and it's something that's kind of our East Coast interpretation of a traditional West Coast IPA. We have its bigger brother called Daylight, which is, again, maybe something we should have sent you guys of like, this here's our double IPA, and this is like the American double. Here it is.
Right.
And it does have it's a little more balanced in terms of bitterness, in terms of aromatics and malt characteristics, color. It's clear and whatnot.
Okay.
I would say Finny Bounce probably closer to the other side of the spectrum. It's not quite the Haysboro style
Right.
beer that we do have a couple, but again, we like having we kind of have a big portfolio of beers, and we understand there's a lot of different types of beer drinkers out there, and we enjoy making them. But I would say that this is definitely geared towards the New England style now.
Sure.
Do you know what the IBUs is calculated IBUs is on this beer?
Off the top of my head, I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you guys have a lot going on.
How's that?
Great. Yeah. I would have guessed 60.
Yeah. You guys have a lot going on out there, so we'll forgive that you didn't send the other version of it. It's fine.
Next time.
Yeah, next time. Exactly.
We'll let a fire under your ass. Oh.
Too soon.
Have you heard that one? Come on. We're working on. We got to hit one that you haven't heard.
I have a feeling that's like said at the brewery daily. Anytime someone's like, leaning instead of cleaning, you're like, hey, don't make me light a fire under your ass. Listen, guys, the beer's fantastic.
Yeah.
Your story is incredible. You're a good family, I can tell. You guys are a strong family, and I like your attitudes. And I'm sure that there were some low points. We don't want to harp on those, but I'm guessing that you guys were pretty good at just picking each other up and deciding what to do next, and got through those low points, as easily as one could. You guys you're a good family.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
it has been. We really have a great community, great support network, and yeah, it's been good doing this with my dad for sure.
Yeah, that's cool too. The family biz. You guys don't hate each other at all? You guys still have a good father-son relationship, or what?
I think we do. I don't know. I mean, we've kind of maybe we've been lucky here, but
it's actually gotten easier because we really have a lot of people that help us now. I mean, when we first started, it was really just Christian and I, and it was it was hard work.
It can take its toll.
It could take its toll, but.
Yeah, I mean, we were cleaning out the mash after the bar closed because we had to bartend after. Like, now it's nice to be like, oh, we can have to mash in at 5 a.m. and then, still be brewing at 1 a.m. and then bartend in between and do everything else. Like, it's definitely a nicer situation.
Yeah,
sure.
I wish I could only see my family at board meetings.
Right. Yeah, not all of us like our families. You guys are fortunate in that sense. Well, I wish you nothing but luck. I'm going to keep following this story. When do you think the full expansion will be open? You guys have a timeline on that?
Yeah, I think, like I said, we're hoping to be open to the public in sometime in March, April. I think maybe more of a grand opening, once the snow melts in the early summer. That kind of wild facility that we were lately talking about, which is actually another location down about 40 minutes south of us, is probably not going to open until the end of the summer, maybe this time next year. It's not quite as, the main focus for us is to get the main facility open.
Is there something in the back of your heads, like some nagging that wants your kind of grand opening to be on March 25th, 2020?
Yeah.
Like on the day, like on an anniversary of the fire kind of a thing?
I wouldn't go.
JP wouldn't because you're a jinx?
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Well, no, because I'd be nervous. Like, okay, where the fire exit? It's like a scene in Carrie.
Actually, when you say it that way, JP, if it was me, I absolutely wouldn't do it. I would do it on like the 26th. Like anything but.
We did it.
But is there something in you guys that wants to say, hey, we're going to do it on the anniversary?
I mean, if it worked out that way, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking dope.
Sure.
Although upstate New York weather is, March can be still pretty dicey.
Oh yeah, like still snowing in March.
Yeah, and we're gonna have really nice outdoor courtyard and stuff like that. So
okay, you might want to push it back.
Yeah.
We're gonna push it this time next year.
And invite all of the fire departments in New York to the grand opening.
Oh, for sure.
I'm sure you would want to do that to thank them, but I'm doing it from a superstition, standpoint. Well, thanks for sharing your story with us, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm sure our listeners do too. And what a ride you guys have been on. It's amazing.
Yeah, you guys having us, man. It's been fun getting to talk to you guys.
Very good. Well, I hope I get to try more of your beer. CommonRootsBrewing.com, ladies and gentlemen. Go learn more about them. You can read through, if you want to dive into this more. They did a pretty good job of writing a few articles right there on their website talking about what happened and what's happening now. So go check it all out at CommonRootsBrewing.com. And all right, Christian and Bert, thanks, guys. I'm going to let you go, and I really appreciate it, and I'm wishing you all the luck in the world.
Hey, thanks, guys. Thanks for having us.
All right, gentlemen, get some rest. There you go. It's too late out there, too. Poor guys.
Yeah.
It's only 11 o'clock. Meanwhile, we can't get distillers in California to talk to us past 8 o'clock.
It's after 5 p.m., right?
The whole thing. Well,
what are you going to do?
Good luck, guys.
Thanks, man.
That was fun. That was fun to talk to them.
It was cool.
I meant what I said to them. They have a good attitude and seem to have a good family, and that's the kind of thing you need to get through shit like that, man. Because I could just ruin you.
I'm done.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck?
You got a full head of steam moving forward, doing stuff, and then this happens. You're like, wow, shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet the press didn't help or didn't hurt. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
If it were me, I would be thinking that, like, but let's just give up. And then another news crew comes.
Right.
Or someone else wants to do a story. You're like, oh, well, there's enough interest that we could still survive. Because I would worry about, everyone just writing us off. Like, oh, there's a fire there. I'm not going there.
But how would you feel having to talk to that many news news crews, like right after like the worst moment of your professional career.
Yeah,
like and just having to rehash that moment.
I
for
could
the next
actually.
day.
I was raised for this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Every moment is the
bred
worst.
right. Yeah.
It's only been worse after worse moment for you.
I'm
Okay,
constantly training.
Okay,
yeah.
I can picture exactly what I would do. I would fucking overshare like I always do when shit gets emotional. I would the news crew would come out and I would fully overshare.
I was fingered as a boy, and it led me here.
It would be the worst thing. Yeah. I'd be like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Thanks for bringing it up.
Yeah.
Does anybody have any cocaine?
It's also been burning in my crotch for the last 2 weeks, but that's another thing.
I like that you're totally belligerent too at this point. Like you're already drunk.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 in the afternoon. Yeah.
I smell smoke. Get the bottle. Start
Should
drinking.
we call the no?
No. Start down with drink.
Then fire department.
Oh, yeah. I would have fucked that all up.
I was hoping it was a stroke.
The community wants to help you. I don't know what to do. I don't need you.
I might as well just give up. No, we've actually set a GoFundMe, and it's already over exceeded their goal.
Can I just take the check and leave?
You're gonna receive the largest fund in GoFundMe history. I hate it.
Your brewery's already half rebuilt.
I need another drink.
Ruined.
Yeah.
No, we've built a brewery for you.
Yeah.
No.
This guy seems to just be making excuses. I don't know. Maybe he just wants to drink.
More at 11.
Yeah. Well, good for those guys.
I kept thinking that first beer,
being better people.
the party shirt beer, needs to be barrel aged in a rum barrel. That's what I kept thinking. The whole
It sounds like they change it up a little bit. I didn't even mention you're wearing a party shirt tonight.
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
even
Halloween
tell him.
season. I got my Halloween party shirts on. And it's my thing, man.
Yeah, a little rum in that.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a good beer.
Yeah, it was good.
And that farmhouse, whew.
That was tasty stuff.
Yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Well, I hope we hear more from them, folks. Go to commonrootsbrewing.com and check it out. We're going to take a real quick break.
Did you say them folks?
Them folks. I like them folks.
Is that upstate?
You definitely said them folks.
What's wrong with it? Is that not proper English?
I
like
don't
them
think
folks.
it is. No. All right.
What
you
would
can
I have
like
said?
it. I just those
I don't think
folks.
Them,
those people.
Oh,
Those
no,
people.
you can say those people. I like that. I would have said those, not them. I like that. Them
I
folks
like them
sounds
folks.
better.
I
like them folks.
It's much more.
Like them folks beer.
It's you.
Yeah, it's fine. See, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. All right, we'll be back after this quick message.
Hello, this is David Walker from the Firestone Walker Brewing Company. You are listening to The Session on the Brewing Network.
Yeah!
David Walker.
Thanks to Common Roots Brewing Company for being on the program today. Appreciate them guys. Mm-hmm. Them folks.
Those ones.
Them boys.
Yeah. Them boys. That
This segment is brought to you by Beersmith, the Beersmith brewing software. You go to beersmith.com right now and check it out. Get your free 21-day trial of the best brewing software on the market. But you don't have to take my word for it because you get a free trial. So, when you're planning your brew day, you got your next brew day coming up, schedule it a week in advance, right? You download your trial so you can work on your recipe and your equipment and stuff for a week. Then you brew, and then you sort of follow it along for the next week of fermentation. By the end, you'll be in love with it, and then you're gonna sign up anyway. But if I'm wrong, whatever. You're not out anything.
It's what I can honestly say. It's the number one beer software that would be the best kisser.
It is, yes.
Yeah, for sure.
If software could kiss,
if beer software could kiss, it would be that for sure. Yeah,
I'm in agreement.
And Justin's never been wrong about anything. So.
Anything?
No.
Go to beersmith.com right now. Check it out. All right, just a couple of things left to do today. What I want to talk about, though, is the Germans.
Okay, let's go.
They seem to have their shit together. So, Oktoberfest just started.
Right.
Again.
But it's September, Justin.
I know. That's how the Germans do it. I wanted to do my Oktoberfest in September, too.
Yeah.
But I feel like Americans can't handle it. Like, it's fucking blows their mind.
Are you saying they blitzed October?
We need what's in the name to be the deliverable item. That's what we need.
Right.
You know
I even
what I'm saying?
at last year I hired a cover band to do part of it because one of the coolest experiences at Oktoberfest is not just that they play fucking polka the whole time. It's that the bands are killer and they do a bunch of sing-alongs. Like, you get some Bon Jovi in there, you get some Sweet Home Alabama in there. So you're not just standing on the table singing "I'm Prosit." You're screaming "Living on a Prayer" at the top of your lungs with a bunch of Germans, right?
Yeah. Cultural appropriation, but that's okay. Go ahead.
So I hired a cover band like that.
Yeah.
You know, for people complained.
Really?
This is not Oktoberfest music. This is not. And I'm like, actually, it is. Have you been to Oktoberfest? Well, no, because it's fucking Oktoberfest music, you dick.
Yeah. I've seen the movie.
It's too authentic for us whiteys.
So I had to dumb down the authenticity of my Oktoberfest by putting it in October. Not hiring a rock band.
Yeah.
It's all the German orchestra is killer, though.
Okay.
But
serving light lagers.
The one thing I refuse to dumb down is the beer.
Yeah.
It's still all good craft beer. Go to ConcordOktoberfest.com. Check it out. Anyhow, the Germans just declared... I don't know if it was like the German government or what, but declared that hangovers are an illness.
The German judicial system.
The judicial system.
It's legally
an illness. So
now.
what does that mean?
You can call in sick.
You can use your sick days.
Use your sick day.
Recover.
So you can call in sick and not get judged because you have a hangover.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
You are sick.
The Germans are amazing. So
that's incredible to me.
Because of our German, because we have German friends, I've always known that, especially during Oktoberfest, pretty much nobody is expected to show up at work on time for the 2 weeks. It's like it's a cultural thing. So even in the corporate environment, Daniela and Flo have actually always worked in the corporate environment. My friends back there, and in that environment, when the fest comes around, you got to show up for work, but no one's like, oh, you weren't here at 8, you roll. If a couple of the days you roll in at 10:30, it's just kind of a given.
They don't schedule any meetings before 11.
It's like, it's a given. And now, so that's always been a cultural thing there, and now they've made it official?
Yeah, you can call the whole day apparently now.
This was reported by the BBC News, right?
Yeah, so it's real.
So all work stops in Germany.
Yeah.
Well, and so I didn't believe Warren. Because he is he's run by the Ukrainian people. He's a purveyor of fake news.
Oh, totally.
But and it's sort of weird how that whole thing developed. Apparently, someone was taking a company to court in Frankfurt because they claimed that this product could cure hangovers.
Oh.
And so by virtue of saying, no, you can't, information about a food product cannot ascribe any properties for preventing, treating, or healing a human illness. By indirectly, then they
have to classify it as an illness.
Right.
Oh, that's super interesting.
It's cool, right?
Yeah.
So, in other words, the plaintiff lost that lawsuit.
Yeah.
But in doing so, the government defined a hangover as an illness.
Right, accidentally.
Inadvertently.
So every other person won.
In their thing,
Wow.
in their statement, they said, by an illness, one should understand even small or temporary disruptions to the normal state or normal activity of the body. This, it said, includes tiredness, nausea, and headaches commonly associated with the hangovers.
I mean, all right, as much as I love this, it is kind of fucked up. Like, it's so self-induced,
Right. Well, exactly, and that's where I think it should be ruled like as an asterisk or whatever, because if it's self-induced,
right,
that's not, you should have got the flu, but then could you argue that you got the flu because you didn't, because you stayed up late for 10 weeks in a row?
Or you had a kid and didn't wash their hands, and you ate some food from them. Yeah. It's all induced.
I mean, I guess that's see here. I'm a guy who I own my faults. I guess is what I'm saying. Yeah. So, in other words, I will always have a hangover and at the wrong times, but I will never ask for sympathy for this. I will never be like, well, I can't do my job because I'm an idiot. Like, I will just accept the consequences of my actions, right? As dumb as they may be. So as much as I love this law, I'm not. It's not really me. I'm still going to be like, well, I got to show up for work. Like, I'm the idiot.
Then how do you explain your German visa application that's sitting on the desk here?
Well, that's another story.
Oh, okay.
Could have legal trouble for some other thing I can't admit.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Whatever. I don't know.
Illness.
It's an illness. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that is good. I do like that.
I love the culture of the I love the beer
official.
culture.
I cannot. What can I say? I am Sikh now.
The beer culture in Germany is such a part of daily life. It's really impressive. If you, it's not just this. It's in subtle ways. It's in every little way. If you go there, it's really intertwined. Maybe I'm stating the obvious, but if you go there, it's really intertwined in the daily lives of Germans. How beer plays a part in a lot of different ways. Not just making excuses for excessive drinking, but the how acceptable it is to have a beer at lunch.
Okay.
How you got to turn in your bottles to get new bottles, or you actually pay that CRV.
I love that aspect. I think that is great.
There's an environmental aspect to it. There's this recycling. Like, you have to do that. I don't know, just a lot of things that I think make it part of culture. That to this day, most of there's far less now, but most of the villages have a local brewery. Monasteries are brewing beer there. It's very intertwined in culture, not just in the excessive drinking way.
Yeah, I wish this would happen in the U.S. because then I would actually use all my sick days. I've never used all my sick days at a place I worked.
Oh,
yeah.
But now I'm actually incentivized to go use them, and I'll have a good night the night before.
You definitely had enough hangovers to have used them all,
I
right?
should have.
But you showed up for work.
Yeah. I remember when I first started working at More Beer, like 20 or 21, right? And the first couple times I called in hungover, basically I was like, look,
Did you tell him?
Yeah, because at the time we were buddies. I was the first person hired, like, full time. Like, I was like the guy, right? I was like employee number 4, and I was just working with Olin and Chris. We'd stay super late and get super wasted, and I would drive super far home, and then continue going on. And then finally, Chris was like, look, dude, you gotta, you can't call out. You have to come in.
Yeah,
just because you partied last night doesn't mean that your job should suffer. I'm like, oh, and that's just one of those dumb shit learning experiences that you have. You're like, oh, okay. So from then on, you're like, well, I did this to myself, and it's fine.
Now I got to pay the price.
But now you can just call it, well, fuck you. I'm going to call it, not fuck you, but you know what I mean?
If you lived in Germany.
If you lived in Germany, now you can't necessarily do that. My grandma, every time before, God bless her soul.
Bless her. I don't know if she is, but
she
bless
needs
her.
it.
Every time I would talk to her, she'd be like, she probably does, I never ever missed a day of work. I took vacation. I never called in sick. I was always there. I'm like, think of everybody that you infected and contaminated.
So that's a good point. Yeah,
call in sick. Especially if you're hungover.
I don't care about coworkers, though.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I told you I would have called in sick last week for sure, except that our guest flew in from out of state to do the show, and I'm like, well, I got to suck it up. But
now Teresa's not here.
And now Teresa's not here. And seriously, that was part of my thought. I don't need to be spreading it around. Not just that I felt like shit, but I don't want to get everybody sick. And now Teresa's, I don't know, I think she's dead. I'm not sure what happened.
Shit.
Start that rumor. Put that on Twitter.
Right.
All right.
Teresa Pasuti gone to a bad cough that Justin gave her.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. I'll do it right now.
We need some press.
That means there's a space in the bunker for Sierra Nevada.
Yeah.
Oh, I think this game is going to get us some press. Don't worry.
We haven't gotten any negative press in a while. I'm
No, we haven't. But
disappointed
there's someone on Twitter who was very offended by what
What's offensive?
Boy.
Okay, so what was our Twitter game? If go ahead.
What beer style would be the best kisser?
So what's wrong with that? Is that offensive?
Apparently, we're personifying a beer.
But that was your premise.
I know.
When you started, you said, "Here's the premise."
This is clearly somebody who doesn't listen to the show, is not currently listening, and we do put out some dumb games on Twitter. So
among other things,
I do get that there's a disconnect. Like, if you're following the Brewing Network on Twitter, rarely, if ever, is somebody putting something out to get instant feedback. It's usually just updates or quips or whatever. But this is a definite different segment, right?
Let's say for a second that even without your premise, because your premise was like, hey, we seem to be personifying beer, so I'm going to ask a question, but even without the premise, is it not just a silly question?
It's
Why is it not just a silly question?
It's stupid. It's like which.
It didn't say like which beer would like fondle you in an unwanted way. It was like which beer is a good kisser.
Make you more likely to be able to have sex with anyone. Like you're not sexualizing
it's
it.
It's a silly question either way.
Or we're not even gendering it. It's not, and which was weird is a lot of the questions or a lot of the answers were very like aggressively gendered.
Really?
Yeah. And
I didn't hear any gender in there.
Well, no, the answers.
I understand, but I don't know why they would be.
Did you ask the beer if it wanted feelings?
Maybe you're not quite as pervy as everybody thinks you are.
For me, it was just a fun, stupid, dumbass, those dumb hypotheticals that people. If you had $1 million, if someone gave you $1 million, would you slap your dog? Yes, of course. It's a stupid premise. Everybody would.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like that someone gave somebody else $1 million, Jason.
Right.
It's just I don't know, man. It was one person, and I doubt they're a listener of the show or actively listening. So it's fine, but Twitter's definitely that space now. Where
everything is.
Yeah, but especially Twitter, you get reply guys, reply bros, people who just looking for something to reply at you about to blow out of proportion, and then they
then I hope we get more of it.
Yeah, me too, to be honest.
Frankly. Especially when it's innocent and silly, and we can just go, I don't really have anything to say back to you, except that it was an innocent and silly question. Yeah. Carry on with your arguing.
That's right.
Justin's asking to be canceled.
Yeah. Cancel
me.
Please cancel me. That goes for my job and my life. Just cancel me. When I said I wasn't religious, it's except when I'm praying to be canceled.
That's right. Every night before bed, I run around my house running with scissors. 2 pairs of scissors.
Cancel me, 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 cancel me.
I never trip.
I also pray for your cancellation.
Yeah. Everybody
still
does.
Work.
Just cancel me already.
His feet still work.
I mean... Arrested Development can get canceled, but not me? For God's sake.
Well, hey.
It came back.
Be careful. Yeah, it got revived.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
And then canceled again.
All right, well, how did we do? Other than the one lame responder. How else did we do?
Not a first responder, but a lame responder?
Yeah.
It's Punisher style. We did all right.
Okay.
Paulie 650.
Hey, 650.
Paulie 650 says that Quebec, it gets in hot and fast for that desired payoff.
For that desired what?
Payoff. And I thought about not putting it up, but I was like, you know what? Hey.
He didn't genderize it. It's fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. It'll end up in jail later.
Did you ever think, like, on this show, first of all, as a show, we've been under the radar for a lot of dumb stuff.
Oh, God,
but
yeah.
You ever thought we'd talk about not gendering a certain thing on this show? Like, that would have been a Twitter game 12 years ago.
If anybody ever really had it out for us, there's a fucking recipe for that. Like, just go through and then cut out a sizzle reel of all the dumb shit we've said in 15 years, and you can bury us.
Yeah.
It's out there.
Yeah.
Just do it.
He's burying us.
Hashtag cancel me.
Hashtag cancel me.
Hashtag you're canceled.
So that's Paulie.
All right.
Brian King says, Hellas, a little sweet, not bitter, full-bodied, and not sloppy in your mouth, which we've all been there with a sloppy kiss, and that's not okay.
No.
That's not a good thing.
That's a hell no.
It's a
not a hell yes.
Yeah.
I like full-bodied. You know what I'm saying?
Full-bodied, you get the round movement of the tongue, maybe, perhaps, or, who knows?
A whole body kiss?
Yeah. Whole body kiss. I think
This is gross.
Yeah.
It's because my tastes over the years have changed from like anorexic to full-bodied.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
That's why I
Stop talking.
Body positivity.
I'm trying to help us get canceled.
You're lighting yourself on fire.
Yeah.
Give me a fucking match.
Oh, too soon, Bevo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank you.
David says, Rauch beer. Smoky, underappreciated, and ready to make bad life choices after a long night in the pub's smoking section.
Oh, sounds like Justin.
Ew.
I can't write all that down, but I like it. I'm going to have to go back to you for the recap.
Rauch beer's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Barley Boy says, beer to guard. French kiss, la French beer.
Okay, simple.
I like it. Fun. There's a little youthful enjoyment in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
French kissing is not appropriate. We don't do that anymore. Hashtag me too.
Guys, I saw my sister French kiss her boyfriend.
Who?
Let me draw it for you in stick figure form. I don't know, I'm like 11 years old.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then finally, this one I just think is adorable. Two Door Brew says Russian Imperial Stout.
Okay. And that's it.
That's it?
I mean, obviously, it's a good one.
So I feel just like, I mean...
You figure it out.
It's too minimalist to ignore.
Yeah. Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah. I mean, the accent's not doing anything for me.
Because obviously.
Yeah. We tell you. We control mind.
I feel like we should just get...
Can you buy that online for kissing purposes only?
Mail order.
Mail order, RIS.
Yeah. The old catalog.
Thank you for completing the joke.
You're welcome.
Huh. Okay. Well, for me, it's between Kveik. Because it's hot and fast for the desired payoff. Or Russian Imperial Stout.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Russian Imperial Stout, because it's so awkward and weird, that
it makes me want to kiss you.
Just, yeah.
I don't know what it is right now.
I don't know either.
That's 10% beer. Just makes you want to kiss. Makes you want to stay warm in Siberia and kiss. I don't know what.
The point of the...
Just a couple times a year.
It's just so good. I don't know. It's a very Jim response.
That's our winner.
Right,
Come on, Russian Imperial Stout.
Good job, Two Door Brew.
Take that, hater.
Yeah. Remember when we asked you for why? Don't do it.
Did you read what the hater said?
Yeah. They did. And well, we know a hater.
Like, read it on... No, he didn't read it on air.
No, I didn't read it on air. But the person was very confused as to what we were doing. And then...
Wasn't the person just mad that we personified it at all?
Probably. But they were, like, confused. And then I prefer my... whatever. And it's like... why are you asking what? If you're going to answer the question, why are you participating? I don't understand. Like, are you trying to teach me a social lesson? Like, I don't. There's so much I don't understand about why the effort was put into the response at all. But it's the internet, so.
It is the interweb.
I read some article briefly. I'll tell you real fast.
So the title.
Basically.
That always means
Bob Iger. Oh, sorry. I don't know why I said that. But Bob Iger, a Disney guy or whatever, he commented at one point they were looking at buying Twitter.
Oh, boy.
And he said he didn't do it because of all of the negativity that platform generates. I'm like,
sure.
You're right.
Yeah.
He could make it the happiest place on earth.
Yeah, it could have been. A person could have written in today and gone, what a great idea from JP. A good question, thoughtful, poignant, a part of our times, where people seem to be personifying beer. Well played, Mr. Petros. It could have gone like that.
You could have. That's definitely true.
But that didn't happen.
Thanks, Iger.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's about all the time we have for you today. I want to thank Common Roots Brewing Company for being on the program. Christian and Bert Weber, a great team over there, good people, and thanks for sending us beer. Go to commonrootsbrewing.com. You can learn more about it. And like I said, if you want to, you can Google. There's like photos of the fire in progress. There's photos of the aftermath. There's photos of the great building beforehand. And I'm guessing that soon we're going to see photos of the all-new Phoenix that has risen.
Hell yeah.
So I'm excited for all that. I want to thank them for being on the program. We are off air for the next couple of weeks because that's right. We've got the Great American Beer Festival, which you can find me at. I'll be in the Beer and Food Pavilion and the Brewer Studio. Whatever. I don't know what it's called. Just go. You'll find me. And we'll be streaming the awards on Saturday morning. I believe it'll be 10 a.m., but pay attention to thebrewingnetwork.com, and we'll put it all on. We'll tweet that, too. If that's okay. If no one will yell about it.
We're ready to broadcast this guy right here, the GABF Award.
Why does it have to be a guy? And what's the significance of 10 a.m.? What, is that like the Walk of Shame? Is a guy doing a Walk of Shame at 10 a.m. on Saturday? Is that what's happening?
You'd be a good reply, bro, online, dude, for sure.
Yeah. I know. I don't go right for the jugular. So we're off because I will be in Denver for the Great American Beer Festival and then back here for Concord Oktoberfest, which is the 11th and the 12th. Go to ConcordOktoberfest.com and get your tickets and come hang out and drink great craft beer.
And do it now.
Also, come and join us on October 19th at Sierra Nevada, where we will be partying with Ken Grossman and the crew and doing our thing out there. You can come hang out with us. Go to SierraNevada.com. Get your tickets. I expect to see you there.
Hell yeah.
Come and say hello. JP will be there.
I'll be there.
Sounds like Beardy's going to be there.
Yeah.
It's Abigail's birthday, so Bevo can't be there. Teresa Pasuti will be there from Crooked Lane.
If she's not dead.
Right.
And I'm waiting to hear if Kim Shimke will be there, too.
No. Well, that could really determine if Warren and I go.
Was she on the email?
I might be busy.
Did I email Shimke? I might not have emailed her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you did.
Sometimes I
that's
forget.
too bad.
Sometimes I forget about people. Like Shimke.
Yeah.
All right, we good?
Yeah, man.
Take us out of here, JP.
Oh, shit, I didn't do any of that. I forgot it
So
all.
we're not good.
No, we're not good at all. I forgot it all. Sorry, man.
Well, let's see. What can we do here?
Thank you to our social sponsor, More Beer. You can buy absolutely everything you need to make great beer at home by going to morebeer.com.
Right.
Thank you to Common Roots Brewing Company for sending in a bunch of great beers, but most notably, that sour beer.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Great beer.
Get out of here with that whole thing. Everybody in here is on like Twitter or Instagram or whatever, but you all know that. You've heard it 100 times before. Justin's not, so if you want to yell at him, email Bevo, that's BEEVO at thebrewingnetwork.com.
Go to Manscaped and use coupon code BREWING for 20% off and free shipping. You can get your lawnmower 2.0.
Hell yeah.
Also, Justin is on Instagram. His last post was 2012.
That's all I got. Thank you very much. Enjoy all the podcasts on the Brewing Network. We're on social media and love us very much. Thank you.
JP's an asshole. Justin's a nice guy and winning the race. JP does great as his cherry.